1045 WNXX Jackson, 1049 KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. on a Wednesday, July 22nd. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see partly cloudy skies with a high of 91. Coming up today on Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota, Fletcher Mackel of WDSU in New Orleans joins the show at 8 a.m. We have the latest edition of Would You Rather Wednesday. The nation's number 3 outside linebacker, Rajon Davis, stops by at 8:45, and we talk with Jeff Duncan at 9:30. You can follow today's show by joining us inside the 104.5 ESPN Huddle app, brought to you by Bayou Ford, on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Make sure to watch us live on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel and subscribe to the Off the Bench YouTube channel and set your notifications. Hour number 1 of OTB starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria, on your smart speakers, on YouTube Live this morning. Remember, on 104.5 ESPN's YouTube station, OTB, powered every day by All-Star Toyota, 7 to 10 a.m. Coming up this morning, we'll talk to Rajon Davis. Davis going to wake up with us on the West Coast. Slept through, high school kid.
We'll see.
Cut him some slack.
We'll see.
Oh, he's up.
We are on the the edge of maybe Darius Geis Part 2. We'll see, dude.
Rajon will be here at 8:45 this morning. Confirmed twice before sleep last night. Hit me with a text this morning. Said he set his alarm. He'll be up with us 6:45 West Coast time. T-Bob's still a little weary on that. We'll make sure and pass the message on to Davis when he stops by at 8:45.
Look, sometimes you got to challenge people.
Fletcher Mackel from WDSU. We'll talk New Orleans Pelicans, New Orleans Saints.
Did Coach
Zion
O not challenge Shelvin publicly yesterday? Saying the Mack truck line, which is a great line, by the way, but basically saying, yeah, Big T's got to lose some weight again. Okay, well, the same way, Rajon's got to wake up.
I challenge you, Coach O. Get off your cell phone inside your office and dial us up from the landline.
Okay, public challenge. It's a day of public intervention. It's like the Always Sunny intervention episode. Or it's you can even almost treat this like a Festivus. Maybe today ends up being an airing of grievances. Yeah, the phone connection wasn't great yesterday.
Just don't understand why you dial from a cell phone inside your office.
It's a nice office, too.
Great office. Jeff Duncan's going to be here in the third hour talking to T-Bob. Off the Bench, rolling for 3 hours today. Here are your headlines on this Wednesday, July 22nd.
Headlines on Off the Bench.
LSU safety Jacoby Stevens, cornerback Derek Stingley, and nose tackle Tyler Shelvin were all named to the Nagurski Award watch list on Tuesday. The Nagurski Award is presented annually to the National Defensive Player of the Year. Former LSU star Glenn Dorsey is the only LSU winner in the past as he took home the trophy in 2007. LSU junior nose tackle Tyler Shelvin was one of 85 college football players named to the Outland Trophy watch list this week. The Outland Trophy is awarded annually to the nation's best interior lineman. Former LSU star Glenn Dorsey is the LSU's only Outland Trophy Award winner as he took home the award in that same season in 2007. Here was what Ed Ogeron said about his defensive tackle from Lafayette yesterday, Tyler Shelvin, when he stopped by on his regular Tuesday visit. My bad.
First of all, if Tyler don't lose weight, I'm going to have to get a Mack truck to bring him up.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
I do believe he will. And I do believe he's going to get down. I believe in Tyler.
Greg Sankey last night was on College Football Live with Reese Davis talking about what the factors are for the SEC to get back on the field.
Well, we went through really a basic list today with athletics directors looking at campus situations, local situations, state situations that would allow us to play. Those are really threshold issues, and the minutia of that probably is not that interesting. So the Autonomy 5 conferences have been working since May to have common protocols so that we can line up and know people across the line of scrimmage are healthy. The NCAA got involved in July, and Dr. Hainline produced that third edition of resocialization guidelines, which sets some expectations. And so we're working through those to make sure we're prepared to support the health and safety of our student athletes in the most positive way possible.
The SWAC rolled out a plan yesterday for spring football. Greg Sankey was asked whether or not that was an option for the Southeastern Conference.
Well, here's the problem I see with the spring right now. So we've kept that on a list of alternatives, but I've not had the explanation of how we'll be assured some reality come spring that will be better than the fall. And in fact, as you look at cold and flu season, which people have talked about, the deeper you go, the more problematic that can be. And we're all in this world of unpredictability. We are building the bridge as we cross the river and writing the instruction manual as we do so.
So we talked about this on one of the OTBOTs a couple of weeks ago. I understand what Greg Sankey's going there because that's the first place that my mind went to when spring season started floating about. It's like, well, there's no guarantee it's going to be safe then, right? But that's not why people aren't moving the season because they think it's going to be safer in spring. They are moving the season because they think that it's unsafe here in the fall. But let's be clear, a lot of the reasons why some of these smaller schools and conferences are doing so is because unlike the Power 5 and unlike the biggest schools like LSU and the SEC, they don't have the ability to do the amount of testing that is going to be required to keep everybody as safe as they possibly can. I mean, look at the NFL. We said it yesterday. They are spending $75 million right now in testing for these 2 weeks and beyond that. And that's just something that smaller schools can't do.
More from Greg Sankey coming up here on Off the Bench. The Southwestern Athletic Conference has postponed fall sports competition and championships because of the coronavirus pandemic and has begun plans to push the fall schedule to the 2021 spring semester, according to a statement on ESPN made to ESPN on Tuesday. The plan for football includes a 7-game conference schedule that begins with an 8-week training period in January. SWAC Commissioner Charles McClellan said that games would begin near the end of February or the beginning of March. Each school will play 6 conference games, 4 divisional, 2 non-divisional, with an option of playing 1 non-conference game within that time period. There have been no decisions made regarding schedules for the league's winter sports at this time. In the NFL, if and when NFL training camps open next week as currently scheduled, teams' rosters will include a maximum of 80 players as opposed to the usual 90 in an effort to help enforce social distancing measures in teams' facilities. This is according to sources who were on an NFLPA players call Tuesday night discussing details of the league's latest proposal on coronavirus protocols.
Yeah, 80 to 90, I thought about coming in here and being like, okay, so who do we think is going to be gone? But then you quickly realize that the names that will be gone are not names that you will recognize at all or even care about. That said, there are a lot of financial implications of this and even going forward into next year, what could happen with the salary cap. And we touched on it yesterday, but I think this lack of a preseason, if you wanted to try to frame it as who is it an advantage for, I think the Saints are actually in a really good spot. Remember, the reason why they felt comfortable spending the 4 late picks on Trotman is that they don't have too many roster spots to go around already right now. And they thought that throwing a bunch of guys at that wall wasn't even worth it because they are so solidified. This is not a team that has to figure out its timing or working together. It's not a team that has major positional question marks to answer. So not having a preseason does not hurt the Saints as much as it would many other teams.
Sources to ESPN did confirm that the NFL and the union officially agreed Tuesday to the league's plan to drop all preseason games for the 2020 season. Major League Baseball, you knew this was going to happen, right? The Houston Astros are going to be targeted, even though no fans are in the stands. They won't hear the boos this year, but opening day for MLB tomorrow. After the cheating scandal was revealed in the offseason, Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman saw that reality. They got hit back-to-back pitches on Tuesday night as Altuve was hit square in the back, and Bregman, a pitch later, was hit as well as the Houston Astros, even though they were bailed out by the pandemic as far as the news goes, and no fans in the stands helps them out as well. But
somebody has to pipe in some booze, right?
Players haven't forgotten about it for sure. The Pelicans, Alvin Gentry was speaking down in Orlando at the bubble. He was talking about how he's going to handle his guys' minutes with the upcoming scrimmages.
Well, I think we'll definitely ramp guys up. There's going to be guys that play less minutes in the first scrimmage than they are in the second or the third or the fourth. We're not going to play anybody out there 30 minutes in a 40-minute scrimmage. So the first scrimmage, I think you'll see a lot of different lineups out there because of the minute restriction that we're not really restriction, but just as the number of minutes that we would be playing guys during the first scrimmage.
One more from Coach Gentry talking about the possibility of Zion not being there for the start.
I think the main thing that we've got to keep in mind is that we had a stretch where we did well before Zion became, from a health standpoint, able to play. Obviously that we would love to have him here, and we would love to have him for every scrimmage and every game. If he is not here, then we have to have other guys step up. We talk about it all the time. It's next man up. And we have a deep bench, as we talked about before. Obviously, those guys are going to have to step in, and they're going to have to play, and they're going to have to play well.
All right, those are your headlines. What's trending here on Off the Bench? We will talk to Rajon Davis, four-star outside linebacker from California, coming up at the end of hour 2. Fletcher Mackel, an hour from now, as we will talk about the Pelicans, talk about the Saints getting back to work. Pelicans working down in Orlando as they're set to start scrimmaging. We got more sound from Greg Sankey coming up, as Sankey last night sat in with Reese Davis for a segment on College Football Live. He did talk about some of the obstacles and university protocols that are set in place to get back out onto the field. And then he was also asked about the deadline that the SEC is operating under, and he answered it in over a minute. That we'll play for you coming up here in the next segment on Off the Bench. Daily powered and driven by All-Star Toyota. Come ride with us until 10 a.m.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Speaking of riding along with us this morning, if you're in a light, medium, or heavy-duty diesel truck, you need to get over to Coy's Diesel if you need service, if you need anything going on. If you have anything going on with those diesel trucks, you need to stop by Coy's Diesel. They're on Airline Highway out in Gonzales. If you're having issues with your light, medium, or heavy-duty diesel truck but can't afford the downtime, you got to get in touch with Coy's today online at coysdiesel.com. If you need maintenance, Coy's Diesel has techs available all day to take care of your maintenance needs. You can drive up. Wait, no appointment necessary. Online, coysdiesel.com.
Coysdiesel.com, coysdiesel.com. Coy is C-O-Y-S, coysdiesel.com. For all your diesel vehicle needs. You need a shop by part. Maybe you've got an older diesel vehicle all the way back to the late 90s, early 2000s. Well, guess what? They got all the parts that you could possibly need. You want to schedule service, you can do it right there on the website. You need 24/7 emergency roadside assistance because you just broke down as you're listening to this. Go to coysdiesel.com. They'll be out there that get you back on the road. coysdiesel.com.
Sports will be back.
But for now, we're all rooting for a different kind of hero.
Let's embody the best parts of sports.
Teamwork.
Sacrifice.
Resilience.
One goal.
Together.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
Get an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Join us Wednesday night for Jimmy Ott's Game Time, live from Louis Cafe right outside the campus of LSU. Their cheese fries are awesome. Jimmy's back from his trip and joins Ben Mintz from 6 to 8 p.m. Catch it right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, we'll talk New Orleans Pelicans and Saints here on Off the Bench. Jeff Duncan going to stop by in the third hour. Fletcher Mackel going to be here at 8 a.m. this morning. Mackel from WDSU. We'll talk to him about the Pelicans starting some scrimmages, Saints reporting to camp, some of the storylines to watch with both franchises. T, how was your Monday?
Well, it was good. It was good. Yeah. Why? What's this? I wasn't expecting this question.
Jeff Bezos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know where you go with this. Yeah.
So you saw this?
Musso,
did you see this?
I heard it.
No.
Okay. Well, prepare to have your mind blown.
Okay.
Amazon and Bezos saw their fortune grow $13 billion in one day. By the end of the day, he was worth $189.3 billion, which means he by himself, alone, individually, is worth more than several large corporations, including ExxonMobil, Nike, McDonald's. His wife, Mackenzie Bezos, is now worth $63 billion, making her the 13th wealthiest woman in the world.
Yeah.
He's going to take over the world. It's going to happen.
Yeah, we talked about him maybe buying Washington. What was the Ravel tweet? He could have bought, it was the Mets. I'll have to look it up. I'm trying to do it from memory. But Darren Ravel tweeted 3 big-time professional franchises that he could have bought with yesterday's earnings alone and still had $2 billion left over.
$13 billion in one day. Motley Fool, who is they were founded in 1993. They help people attain financial freedom, tweeted that a lot of that is due to, obviously, the pandemic and people staying at home, online selling, in addition to Amazon's retail business, and everybody staying home and streaming, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're streaming services.
Yeah, and a lot of people buying movies off of Amazon and everything else. So, yeah, sure, man. I mean, look, Jeff, we've talked about it. We talked about it with the Washington stuff. Bezos taking over the world. The NFL pursuing him as a potential owner only makes too much sense. I mean, that's a guy who you could do some very exciting things with. But, yeah, I just – it's a number that's so large. It's representative of the paradox of statistics, right? Which it's like the larger numbers get the almost the less that they mean to you. It's like what Stalin used to say: one death is a tragedy, a million deaths is a statistic. Well, that's how I feel about Jeff Bezos. I can't even begin to wrap my mind around how much money $13 billion is, much less making $13 billion in one day. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the Minnesota Timberwolves are for sale right now. I say that I saw where the Wolves, who own the Minnesota Vikings, have emerged as the lead buyer there. But yeah, it seems it makes too much sense that Bezos would own some type of professional franchise.
Yeah, it looks like everybody because like I said, as an owner, he seems like a very attractive candidate to get into your league, whether that's the NBA, NFL, MLB, like whatever. So yeah, any fan base or any team that is looking to sell will definitely kick the tires on Amazon and seeing if Jeff is interested.
All right, the latest is up over at The Athletic from Bruce Feldman, who annually puts out his freak list, which is the top 50 freaks in college football, whether it is from a size, speed, strength standpoint. Feldman has great relationships in college football. He is very tight with the LSU football program, and Coach Ed Orgeron, as Feldman was here a couple of weeks ago talking about the book that he's right now authoring about Orgeron and LSU's resurgence under his direction. But right now, over at The Athletic, where Feldman writes, he's got the top 50 freaks in college football, and LSU's got 3 on the list. And it may not surprise you to see one of the names, or maybe even 2 of the names, but one name was surprising, especially to see how high he was ranked on the list. So out of the top 50 freaks in college football, Feldman has Damone Clark at 34, LSU linebacker, and he puts his freakiest attribute at speed, strength combo, and then breaks down and saying on Damone Clark, Jacoby Stevens is another big athlete in the middle of LSU's defense who timed really well in the 40 and could have made the list this year. I went with Clark, talking from Feldman's point of view, who at 6'3", 245 pounds is even bigger yet and still ran a 4.5 flat in the 40. The junior also bench presses 405 pounds, squats 600 pounds, and cleans 352. He had 22 tackles last year in 2019, but he's one of the guys that the Tigers staff expects to have a breakout season in 2020. As Feldman remarks, they have gushed the coaching staff about his smarts, work ethic, and athleticism for the junior linebacker out of Southern Lab. So Clark comes in at 34, Jamar Chase at 19. So Chase in the top 20, and his freakiest attribute is, according to Feldman, his separating strength. The breakdown says the Biletnikoff Award winner as the nation's top wideout, Chase has incredibly strong hands and a powerful lower body, which make him virtually uncoverable. Just ask Clemson. He has continued to get much faster since coming to LSU, clocking a 4.4 flat at 6 foot, 208 pounds. He's also power clean 330 pounds this offseason. Coach Ed Orgeron said he's special. He's such a stud. He works his butt off. He's so strong, and the way he can come in and out of his breaks, running all speed, full speed, putting his foot in the grass, turning and catching the ball. Guys have never seen someone like that as far as his size and speed. And then number 8 on the list in the top 10 is another wide receiver. And I think we said it to the room. But it's Racey McMath.
Yeah.
McMath is number 8 on Feldman's list and has the freakiest attribute, according to Feldman, for McMath, is his speed. This is the top freak on a team full of freaky athletes, is the first sentence of McMath's breakdown from Feldman. The Tigers staff is expecting a breakout season from the senior this year, with Justin Jefferson having left for the NFL and opening up a starting spot. Prior to this season, McMath proved to be a special teams demon and a solid backup, catching 17 passes for 285, 3 scores in 2019, 6'3", 224. He is exceptionally fast and strong, benching almost 400 pounds to go along with a 4.39 in the 40.
I mean, look, all 3 of those guys, you've seen it directly on the field, right? When I hear about Damone Clark's strength, again, we referenced this yesterday. I go back to that bull rush against Georgia, where as a true freshman, this cat's lining up, hand in the dirt as a 3-tech on a guard, and he plants him in the quarterback's lap. Remember when we talked to Tommy Moffitt about Jamar Chase a couple months back. And we asked, how is, and maybe this was even during the season, but I remember asking him, how is Chase so successful? And one of the main things he kept going back to was just his pure strength for his size, his strength to size ratio, saying that pound for pound, he didn't know if anybody's stronger on the entire team. And if there is one guy who's stronger, yeah, it's probably Racey McMath. Racey McMath's problem, or the barriers to entry to the field, have been twofold. First, there's been very good players in front of him. And secondly, he has struggled catching the ball consistently. And if you look at last year, the summer of 10,000 catches, and the difference that made in the wide receiver group from 2 years ago, the catch rate, to last year, which improved vastly. I mean, think about it. You probably don't even remember that many drops from last season because they just didn't happen, and the ones that do stand out because of it. So if Racey McMath can fix that one portion of the game, yes, he has all of the mental skills to be very successful, all the physical skills to be very successful, and now he doesn't have a first-round NFL draft pick in front of him either.
What's the biggest drop of the season? Can anybody remember a drop? I remember Terrace
I just
Marshall
remember
dropping a big one in the SEC championship game where he was running by himself.
That's one that I
Jamar
remember.
Chase had a drop in the national championship game, which would have been another touchdown catch from him for him that hit him in the corner of the end zone that he just dropped. I mean, he had a spectacular night versus Clemson, but that highlight, I mean, he just dropped a pass in that game. Outside of those two, and I'm just brainstorming here, thinking off the top of my head, I can't think of a meaningful drop last season for LSU. The biggest drop of the year was the Texas fullback dropping that out route in the end zone.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't think of any more drops that LSU was in a game on both sides.
I think Thad Moss fell over. He didn't drop it, but he fell over running a route against Mississippi State, and I remember I was salty because it hurt Burrow's unbelievable completion percentage that he was going for at the time. That would have been another touchdown, but no, outside of the two drops you referenced and that fall over, all of which were potential touchdowns that were lost out on, I don't remember anything last year. It's one of the reasons why that team was so good. And as a quarterback, it gives you so much trust that that you start to be willing to engage in a bit more risk because you know that your wide receiver is going to honor that risk and he's going to help bring down that ball.
Yeah. All right. So more from The Athletic as we broke down a write-up from earlier this week where Brody Miller talked about the LSU offense, ranking the offensive groups from stable to least stable. He did the same thing with the defensive groups as well. We'll get to that coming up in the next segment here as our first guest is set to drop by at 8 o'clock this morning. Fletcher Mackel will be here from WDSU. We do have some more sound from Greg Sankey last night on College Football Live with Reese Davis that I want to clear out here in this opening segment as we played a couple for you inside the headlines with Sankey talking about what the determining factors for the Southeastern Conference to get back to play, and he had a couple of problems with a spring season that has been offered up as a contingency plan. He did also talk about his confidence level last night with Davis on ESPN.
I told our AD, so I think we're probably the only conference that's hosted an in-person meeting of our athletics directors, which we did in a socially distanced, breathing mask way last Monday. I told them the last time the word confidence was used in my life was probably March 10th, which was Tuesday of basketball tournament week. And I've said repeatedly, my job is to make sure we're prepared to play as scheduled, and then the circumstances around the virus will determine whether that can happen or not. So that's been the focus. And I'm confident that we have continued to adapt and prepare and support young people in the right sort of way to give us the opportunity to play. Now, those decisions are still to come about actually playing, but to date, I think we've met the objectives that we identified back in April as we were engaging doctors and providing us guidance on a regular basis.
More from Sankey talking about the obstacles. What's the biggest obstacle that they are looking at?
From where I sit, it's really what happens within the athletics endeavor. And, I've referenced a couple of times our preparation. And so we've seen healthy practices emerge. And you're showing some on the screen right now. We had a meeting of our Student Athlete Football Leadership Council last Wednesday, and Alante Taylor from the University of Tennessee was moving around a little bit with a mask on the whole time. And that's the kind of message that we need to send. And that's why, really, after a meeting of our presidents and chancellors, they said, you know what, Greg, you need to be more clear that this global problem is an issue for us locally. And we're going to work locally to support our student athletes in the most positive way possible, in the most healthy way possible. We're going to adapt, and as the CDC changes its guidelines, we'll continue to adapt. And so we're all part of this, which is the message that was sent with the understanding. I think we've done a really good job within our athletics programs to achieve those objectives I identified.
One more from Sankey, and this is a little longer bite as well, of him talking about what is the deadline for the Southeastern Conference to make a final decision.
I haven't put a deadline. I've actually put dates out there. And Reese, I wrote up a timeline way back in May, and I realized how much has changed since then. So we look at next week as an important milestone. And the way I'll explain it is I have finished 41 marathons in my life, and I realize you're going to go mile by mile, and we are on that journey. The challenge right now is to understand where the finish line may be. And last week we increased athletic activity. There's an opportunity to do the same later this week. And so we've had a check-in point today about our preparations to do so. Next week is a week prior to practice. We will have seen a lot of professional sports activity through the month of July. NFL training camps are scheduled to begin officially next week, but we've got rookies reporting, so we've got learning opportunities there. And we've tried to use every one of these experiences as a learning opportunity to help inform our decision making. And the milestone check next week is, are we ready to move into that stage of practice? And part of that will be a conversation about what does the season look like? And that's a conversation that's been taking place for weeks.
Greg, how many Hall of Fames are you in? That was a very Dickie V-like.
Slide that in there.
41 marathons. Hell, I mean, look, I'm hating, though. It's 41 marathons. That's a hell of a thing, dude. You are a beast if you've run 41 marathons.
Man, when do you have the time to run 41 marathons?
I don't know. But so it does sound like his tone, it's not changing, but
like
the message
3 per year.
The message is adjusting a bit when it comes to that July 31st date. Because for a while that was kind of pointed as the decision date, and now they're saying that it's just another step along the way, which makes more sense to me as well, because the SEC, it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to play in spring, just quite frankly. It's just they will do everything that they can do to avoid having to move that season into spring. And so if that means that all of a sudden, July 31st is just another step instead of July 31st being the date, well, that makes sense. It is, I mean, look, if you want to be positive, though, how about this? Sports are back week. You got the Pelicans scrimmaging today. You got baseball opening day tomorrow. What are we, 2 days away from LSU starting walkthroughs on the football field as a full team? So things are starting to take shape here. And as we talked about it yesterday, but as you look around the world and other leagues, there are best practices being established that are proving to be successful. And so like Sankey was alluding to there, and it does it gets harder on the college level versus the professional ranks, where you have a lot more kids, a lot more moving parts, a lot more potential avenues that you got to watch out for with this virus. But that's not to say that you still can't learn all of these lessons from like the Bundesliga, the KBO, the NFL starting up. The NBA bubble's been very successful, as has the MLS. How does the MLB go? Because that's something more akin to college football, as they will be traveling. So, people are finding out ways to operate in this new setting we live in.
All right, we will continue the discussion next year on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Brought to you by All-Star Toyota. Remember, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. If you need to get in there today for a certified or pre-owned vehicle, don't forget about the Toyota Certified Advantage. That's a 12-month, 12,000-mile limited comprehensive warranty, a 7-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. You get 1-year roadside assistance. You get that 160-point quality assurance inspection, a Carfax a vehicle history report, and you get new car financing options with financing rates. All online, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Stop in and see them today, right there in the corner of Goodwood and Airline.
Yeah, no matter what you want, man. You want a Highlander hybrid with $1,500 cash back? They got you. You want to do 2020 Tundra, get that truck that you've always wanted? Well, guess what? You can get it along with $4,500 cash back. How about a 2020 Camry? 0% APR financing for 72 months. All of that at All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. Go to the website, allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com.
Off the Bench, hanging with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube page. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat. Find highlights for each show's channel and get notified whenever we go live.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Crime has serious.
Yo, join us for a Wednesday edition of Hanging with Hester and Handy, presented by Richards Honda. Matt Flynn comes back in. As you know, the show turns into a Hanging with Flester, a 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Musso brings up a good question in the break. You think Sankey has the bumper stickers from all the marathons he's completed on the back of his?
He has to.
On the back of his car?
Every marathon runner does, so he has to.
41
You can't
marathons,
be Greg Sankey.
bro.
You can't be a...
I mean, I'm sitting here just trying to do the math, and maybe y'all have the right philosophy on where he was just training on the come-up. He spent, 13 years in Natchitoches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Something like
Southland,
that.
the Southland commissioner?
Yeah, you spend 13 years as Southland Commissioner. See if you don't start running away from all your...
I don't know.
All your problems.
41 marathons.
I feel like if you run 41, your body's probably pretty acclimated. The
Yeah,
training's
like
probably not
yes.
as intense.
Yeah, he's not diving. He has maintained that. He's not getting into shape for marathons. The only way you run 41 in your life is you're maintaining that shape. Also, you cannot be a major Power 5 commissioner and have bumper stickers on your car.
Yes, you can.
You just can't do it.
If you're a marathon runner,
that's
you have to. T-Bob, there's the rules. I don't make them.
Well, okay, that's what I'm saying. Then something's got to give here because the lights
the
rules
entire
also,
back glass just covered with bumper stickers,
Yeah.
and he gets out and find out you're the
There
SEC
goes-
commissioner.
there goes
you
Greg
can't really
again.
be like a super successful adult in society and have a lot of bumper stickers over your car.
debatable, but I
I mean, there
would
are
actually
some
go
people
ahead
who
and
pull
side
it-
with T-Bob on that. I mean, if somebody gets out of the car with just a truck bed full of bumper stickers, I'm wondering, man, what?
Like, I'm not
You're
saying
not a
look,
true marathon runner if you don't have those stickers.
there are people that are going to be exceptions to every rule, but I want everybody to be very honest right now. When you see a bunch of bumper stickers on somebody's car, do you judge them?
Yes.
Obviously.
I do. Of course.
Exactly. And you think they're weird, and you think that maybe, like, so yeah, you can't be Greg Sankey. I don't think he has, but then I do, what does Greg Sankey even drive? I have no idea. These are the important questions that I've never considered before.
Wow, anonymous user. I worked with a guy who ran a marathon in every state.
There's
At least 50.
There is a guy, and I may be getting my runner's wires crossed, but I do know that there's a guy that ran 50 ultra marathons in 50 states, I want to say in 50 days. I believe it's the same character that was on the old reality show, Stan Lee Superhumans. And this guy had, they proved it in doing science experiments at the TV show, but he had the ability to lower his lactic acid in his body. That's what normally stops your muscles. Right? That's when you give out, is when you're running, the lactic acid builds up, and you just can't push it anymore. Well, they studied him and why he could just run forever, seemingly never stopping, and they looked at his lactic levels, and they would rise, and they would reach this threshold, and then out of nowhere, they would just start going down, which meant that he could just keep going forever. But, yeah, human beings can accomplish crazy things. You're talking about billions. All it takes is one person being born with a little quirk like that, and then look at him there, 50 ultramarathons in 50 days in 50 states.
A full marathon is 26 miles.
26.2, right?
26.2 miles. Nice job there, Moose. I don't know if I could run for 26 miles if you told me there was $1 million cash waiting at the end of the finish line for me. Really. Like right now, if you said start running for 26 miles.
Can you walk, or you're saying you have to run the whole time?
I don't know if I could finish a 26-mile trek.
That's what I'm saying. You put $1 million, I think I could walk it. I think I could walk it over however many hours that would take. Just
no,
keep
I would
walking.
probably walk it.
You got to be like Frodo taking that ring to Mount Doom. You got to go all out. I'll carry you. We'll go Sam and Frodo style. We're crossing that damn finish line if all we have to do is walk across it for a cool $1 million.
So Sankey's done 41
Well,
marathons.
how much is in an ultra marathon then? If that's if how many miles ultra marathon? If that's what a marathon is, because yeah, okay. So ultra marathon contest races are from 35 miles all the way up to 100 miles, and it was Dean Karnazes who ran the 50 marathons in 50 states in 50 days.
GTFO, bro.
Yeah, really.
I'm out.
Dean's showing off over here. I don't appreciate it.
I don't care, Dean.
Unbelievable.
I really don't care, Greg. Like in the middle of that answer, I didn't need to know that you ran 41 marathons.
We might care. We are talking about. Also, I think that I kind of liked his analogy.
Mile by mile?
It's a marathon, not a sprint, mile by mile. As someone who appreciates a good analogy to make me understand things, I was kind of vibing with what Greg was putting down. There was a definite Dick Vitale element in it, make no mistake. But, like, I come out of that on the other side, I'm like, Greg Sankey's a little more badass than I thought. And more weird for sure, too, with all those bumper stickers, but badass nonetheless.
He did mention that he was against a spring league, and we saw the SWAC announce yesterday officially that they have their plan in place for spring football, which I think makes a ton of sense.
Which could be really cool, too.
I agree.
Having, like, group of five, all this. Like, hey, the XFL is gone. We still want spring football. Yeah, dude, I'm down to watch some college football.
And the SWAC is going to steal eyeballs, right?
Yes.
I mean, like they will get some interest and intrigue here with a spring football season. Greg Sankey shot down the notion for that in the SEC, and I agree wholeheartedly when you start talking out loud about the possibility of Power 5 conferences playing in the spring. To me, it just does not make any sense. No sense at all, especially for guys like Trevor Lawrence and Jamar Chase, who we've talked about. I think even once the season gets to a point in the fall that play has been suspended, let's say that play is suspended until mid-October, I think that guys like Jamar Chase and Trevor Lawrence have a decision to make on whether or not they're play. If they move it to the spring, then I think you'll start talking about guys like Derek Stingley Jr. having decisions to make. You think that Stingley Jr. is going to play 12 games in the spring, then get prepared to play 12 more games in the fall, and play 24 games in a calendar year on which he's hoping to get drafted after that? I just don't think it makes sense for anyone, for a Power 5 conference, the SEC in particular, to play a spring league because it just makes no sense physically. like from a physical demanding standpoint, outside of the logistics, the red tape, and everything you got to jump through to make that thing happen. From a physical standpoint, it makes zero sense.
Whenever we get the Cannon on to finalize our Dak Prescott debate, we can ask him about it because he literally did this when he played in the USFL. He played an 18-game USFL season. That's not including preseason and the playoffs. He then went into his first ever NFL season where he became the starter the last half. He played 44 games if you include preseason, he played 44 games in a 53-week year. He just said he was dead by the end of it. He was just like a football zombie.
That's 1980s.
Yes, 85
like
football.
Where they got no rules.
Getting rocked, getting dominated. Jim Mora, the drill instructor, chewing your ass out, making you run till somebody pukes in 100-degree weather like every single day of practice. Just insanity. Shout out to Cannon. But, yeah, he can give us some insight as to what that's like and why you would ideally want to avoid it.
All right, we'll close that hour one next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Brought to you by Central Plumbing Company. Remember, online, centralplumbing.org. 925-8552 is the phone number that you can get in touch with Jay Payne, Zach Payne, Brandon LeBlanc this morning. Online, centralplumbing.org. 925-8552. Always reminding you about the residential plumbing commercial services that they offer. But you can also get a full home generator installed today if you need it. Get in touch with Central Plumbing Company, 925-8552.
Yeah, weather's been a little finicky lately, and as it gets bad, having a generator to make sure that your house stays powered, your freezer, everything, you're going to lose all that stuff, like it gives you huge peace of mind. And over there at Central Plumbing, you can buy from, they can install it for you. You don't lift a finger. But then also, it's any plumbing problems that you have. Simple, complex, sink won't work, shower won't drain, toilet won't flush, doesn't matter what it is. Call 925-8552. Go to centralplumbing.org. They show up. Flat rate pricing, licensed, bonded, and insured. Fix your problems. You don't lift a finger. centralplumbing.org.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
0% for 72 months on all new 2020 F-150s. Visit Bayou Ford for a new 2020 Ford F-150 with 0% for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. NFL rookies begin reporting on Tuesday. We start to look ahead to the upcoming season on AFR. 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, Fletcher Mack, we're going to stop by the conversation in 10 minutes. We'll talk to Rajon Davis, four-star linebacker out of California. An hour from now, as Davis is set to make a decision on what his senior season is going to look like, as California made the choice to postpone and suspend fall sports for high school athletes in California until December. So we'll ask Davis on what his line of thinking is there come fall on whether or not he's going to be an early enrollee. We were watching Get Up, which is on here inside the studio, as we were preparing to get on the air this morning. And Mike Greenberg posed a question to Marcus Spears, Ryan Clark, and Jeff Darlington this morning that I thought was pretty interesting when he asked which aging quarterback has the best chance to win another Super Bowl. And the selection was that of Drew Brees in New Orleans, Tom Brady in Tampa, Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh, and Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. They had some healthy debate on television on that, but nobody landed on Brees, which you had a big problem with.
Well, I mean, not choosing Drew Brees out of those options is the height of absurdity if you look at all the rosters. And I get the Tom Brady factor. And honestly, I'm not going to argue too much against that because Tom Brady has earned that benefit of the doubt. I talked about this the whole that podcast yesterday, looking at Phil Steele's rankings. LSU's trying to join the benefit of the doubt club. Right now, Ohio State, Alabama, Oklahoma, Clemson, you can pencil them in top 4 every given year. Doesn't matter what they lose because they've proven the ability to overcome it. Okay, well, Tom Brady has proven the ability to win Super Bowls in multiple different team makeups. You know, even if it was on the Patriots, some were offensive, some were defensive, whatever. You want to give Tom Brady the benefit of the doubt, that's fine. But God help me, how could you choose Aaron Rodgers or Ben Roethlisberger over Drew Brees in this? And specifically, Aaron Rodgers. I had my video ran a couple weeks back where I talked about Aaron Rodgers being the biggest fraud in the NFL. And that's not to say Aaron Rodgers isn't good. He's great, obviously. But the conversation when it comes to Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees and what you see some of the national talking heads, I find it to be untenable. I mean, who gets more support or who gets more excuses made for them than does Aaron Rodgers? And who gets their success explained away more than does Drew Brees? It's like he has all the records, all the numbers, and then none of it matters because he was with Sean Payton? Or he had a better supporting cast than Rodgers? Like, Brees has had a good supporting cast, right? But, I mean, Marcus Colston, very good receiver, never made a Pro Bowl. Should have, but never did. Never was all-pro either. I mean, is Willie Snead that guy? Jimmy Graham was very good in New Orleans. Look what happened when he left. What did Aaron Rodgers do with Jimmy Graham? Like, there's just so many excuses made for Rodgers. And I went off on a rant on this a couple of weeks ago, and I'll revisit the numbers because it just doesn't make any sense. Just doesn't make any sense. Look at the numbers from the last 3 seasons. Drew Brees, and it's getting numbers heavy for a minute. Drew Brees completed 72, 74, and 74% of his passes. Rodgers, 64, 62, 62. Brees, 11,300 yards. Rodgers, 10,100. Brees, 82 touchdowns, 17 picks. Rodgers, 67 touchdowns, 12 picks. Brees, QB ratings of 103, 115, 116. Rodgers, 97, 97, 95. Okay, surely it's about wins and losses then, right? Breeze, 32-10 over the last 3 years. Rodgers, 23, 15, and 1. How about this? Since 2012, Aaron Rodgers, 7-24 against teams that are above 500. Kirk Cousins, 5-24. Go look at Kirk Cousins' numbers last year compared to Aaron Rodgers. Like, you can make all of the excuses you want, but this is the same issue that I have with the Mike Thomas situation. Instead of just looking at the numbers and objectively looking at who is performing the best, people find the need to explain away New Orleans numbers and always prop up Rodgers when his level of play just has not matched his talent. Whether or not it's a front office fault, it's a coach's fault, that's all well and good, but the results are the results. And there is no doubt that Aaron Rodgers has underachieved. And on no list should he ever be put above Drew Brees. They have the same number of Super Bowls. He never should have made the all-decade team over Drew Brees. That's horrendous. And you should never sit here today and say that he is a better quarterback currently than Drew Brees is. It just doesn't bear out on paper at all.
Hour 2 off the bench, powered and driven by All-Star Toyota. We'll lead you off with Fletcher Mackel. We will revisit a small portion of that conversation. We'll also start to preview the Pelicans getting back on the floor in Orlando. Scrimmages popping up at the regular season right around the corner. New Orleans Saints reporting for training camp. Rookies reporting. Lots to get to with Fletcher Mackel. Come back with us 3 minutes away.
Off the bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Secure Shredding and Recycling is a premier provider of document destruction services for individuals, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and government agencies. They've got locations in Lake Charles and Baton Rouge, but they serve our entire listening area. If you're in New Orleans, if you're in Baton Rouge, if you're in Lake Charles, if you're in Alexandria, you can get in touch with Secure Shredding and Recycling just by logging online to SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com. You can schedule a shredding appointment. You can get in touch with Gaines Garrett and their great team over there. Get online, SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com.
SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com. You like keeping your business local? Well, Secure Shredding are LSU grads, and they're also going to give you a much better rate than the national companies will. And look, ultimately, document destruction is a service business, and they're there to serve you. And it's better when it's local and you can talk to people, boots on the ground, and they can help you solve any issues that you have. Whether you want to drop off, have them bring the truck out to you, bring it back to their facility, they can do it all. SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today. At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge.
By Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Wednesday, July 22nd. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see partly cloudy skies with a high of 91. In case you missed hour one of the show, you can catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Brought to you by Carriages. Still to come on Off the Bench, Fletcher Mackel of WDSU in New Orleans joins us next. We have the latest edition of Would You Rather Wednesday. Five-star outside linebacker and LSU commit Rajon Davis joins the show at 8:45, and we will talk with Jeff Duncan at 9:30. You can follow today's show by joining us inside the 1045 ESPN Huddle app, brought to you by Bayou Ford, on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch us live on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Subscribe to that one, and make sure you subscribe to the Off the Bench channel as well and set your notifications. Hour number 2 of OTB starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Off and at it, hour 2 Off the Bench, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. Online, 1045ESPN.com. Remember, we're on YouTube Live. Search 1045 ESPN on YouTube. Make sure and subscribe there. All of our shows go live. Any highlights you may be looking for from specific shows, you can search that show's station on YouTube or your smart speakers as well. Log on and find Carriages online. That's who brings us all of our sound here. Carriages is conveniently located in Old Hammond and Jefferson Highway Shopping Center. Been around since 1982. Fine clothing. You can find that alternate game day LSU logo over at Carriages. Search them on Instagram. Find them on Facebook. We will talk to Rajon Davis, 4-star linebacker out of California, coming up here at 8:45 this morning. Jeff Duncan going to stop by in hour number 3 as the Saints in the NFL upgrading the technology that Duncan will talk about.
Yeah, I guess, okay, so what that article's about, he has a good write-up in The Athletic where he's talking all about, like, these RFID chips they're going to use. Imagine a world, Jordy, where you have a chip in the ball that shows the second that the tip of the ball breaks the plane, and then, like, an NHL, like, siren goes off. Right, and lights go off, and immediately that seems like a pretty fun world, right? So there's a lot of that right around the corner, and we'll break that down with Jeff at 9:30.
All right, also right around the corner is the start to the NBA regular season. They are getting back on the floor as far as the scrimmages are concerned. Still no Zion down at the bubble with the Pelicans. Alvin Gentry, head coach, is speaking a little bit about that. But down in New Orleans, who covers the city, is from WDSU sports anchor down there, Fletcher Mackel, who joins us here, is back with us here on Off the Bench. Welcome back, Fletch. Thanks for the time. Good morning.
No, good morning. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Anything we can find out on Zion? I know they've deemed it a personal matter and a family matter, but is there anything that has come out on what is going on with Big Z right now?
No, and I'll say this, and I go back and forth with this because I've seen a lot of social media, and I know Twitter is not the real world, they say, but I do I lean more to they have told us what's going on. here's the thing. If Zion had left the bubble and it was radio silence and we were wondering, is it his knee? Is he out of shape? Did he get another injury? We know what it is. And I do think there's a certain level of respect that, yes, in today's 24/7 social media news cycle, we want to know. But I feel like when they say it's, and I'm not trying to give the Pelicans, when I say they, a break, but when they say it's an emergency family medical matter, well, that's what they told us. I mean, that sounds to me, and I'm just being presumptive here, a potential death in the family or a sudden heart attack or a stroke. Well, do we need to know that? Do we need to know potentially if his father suffered a heart attack or if his mother had a medical emergency? They told us it's a medical emergency and he left the bubble. And I've seen a lot of people on social media saying they need to be more transparent. And it's like, is that not transparent? Is that going to make you feel better if you know that his father had a medical emergency? That they've told us that's what it is. The only thing I would say is that maybe this week, he left late last week. Maybe this week we could get more of a timetable on his potential return, when that may come. Will it be before the game starts or after? Because those first two games are doozies, so to say, to quote Groundhog Day.
Yeah, so it's interesting, Fletcher, because I agree with you. I don't think I want to know, and the silence actually makes me a bit worried from like a human empathetic standpoint that it could be bad. But is it not one of the most shocking kind of turn of events that you can remember in recent kind of media coverage? And think about how hyper competitive NBA scoops are, right? When you talk about Woj and Shams and all the memes around that and them going toe to toe constantly. Like, are you shocked that nobody has just gone ahead and published that story or figured it out?
You know what? It's a good point, T-Bob. And part of me feels like, yes, because I do think that it's one of those things that people, in this cycle, you think that people, to get that scoop, that's what's made Woj and Shams and the Woj bomb and everything like that. But I do think when you just said, when you're talking about the human side of it, I do think there's a little something different to that. And the example that I tell people is this. Look, I grew up with Michelle Varisco, who's Steve Gleason's wife. I've known that family my entire life. And back in 2011, a lot of us found out through family sources in early 2011 that Steve had been diagnosed with ALS. But nobody's going to break that story until he says he has ALS, and he did it in September. Even though you referenced Jeff Duncan, he knew about it. A lot of us knew about it. Yeah. But I think out of an abundance of respect and privacy, nobody's going to do that. I think at this point there are definitely people in that bubble that have found out what it is and why. And I think that, and I don't know, so I think that it's probably more of the human side of it, that maybe this isn't a basketball, break it, I got the scoop type story.
So they're 8 days away from playing the Jazz, opening up with the Pelicans and the Jazz there. How do you feel about New Orleans going into this instance? Because there was a lot of feeling around him with Zion. This is when Z was with him, that they were in shape, they had been playing, and that they were going into this bubble atmosphere with some confidence. How do you feel about them entering the July 30th resumption date?
Well, that's what I said, Jordy. I think that the first two games, I feel good because I do think they were, if the season had not stopped, I felt very confident with the way Zion had returned and the way the team had kind of overcome that horrible start and the injury to Zion, the injury to Favors missing time because of the death in his family, an injury to Redick. I do feel like they were going to maybe make a strong push because their schedule was so easy. That being said, their first two games in the bubble, Utah, which is a team they just never, even going back before Zion, they never matched up well against because Gobert can suffocate any big you throw out there. The way Utah plays is infuriating, how slow they play, walking it up the floor, just grind it out defensively. It's always been a bad matchup for Alvin Gentry and his pace system. And then the second game is against the Clippers, and I think the Clippers are the favorites to win it all. So if Zion doesn't return for the start and they're 0-2, I think that it's over with. And then they have to start considering how much they play Drew Holiday, how much they play Zion when he returns. Now, if they get off to a 1-1 start or a 2-0 start, I think they're going to have their foot on the accelerator and can make a serious run to leapfrog Portland and Memphis to get in. But I do think they're pretty confident with Drew Holiday and J.J. Redick and Derek Favors. And I do think they're certainly one of the darlings of the bubble, so to say, even with the Zion setback, I think they're going to be a team a lot of people are paying attention to, at least early on, before we start getting into the playoffs and talking about the real championship contenders.
Hey, yeah, so Fletcher, you talk to this team every day, and I've seen clips of you online, and you've been talking to Gentry through like Zoom calls, et cetera, et cetera. How would you describe the team morale right now without Zion there in the bubble?
Yeah, I think really good. I think that that's one of the things that we don't talk enough about is how influential J.J. Redick has been for the confidence of this team. Because it's a really weird team to figure out. You've got J.J. Redick, who's 36, and Drew Holiday, who's 30, who's a 11-year NBA veteran. And you've got a guy like Derek Favors, who came into the league at 19 years old, and he's 29 now. So you've got these been there, done that kind of guys. Even people like E'Twaun Moore, he's been around a long time. And then you've got kids like Jackson Hayes, who's 19 years old, and Nickeil Walker-Alexander, who's 21 years old, and even the young Lakers players. I mean, we forget that Lonzo Ball and Ingram are 22 and have never been in serious playoff contention-type games. But I do think they have confidence because, Alvin is a really laid-back guy, and he's not – he's definitely a player's coach. He's not a yeller, screamer, kind of put a lot of pressure on his team. And that's good and bad, but that's good right now. And then you've got these confident veterans. J.J. Redick's never missed the playoffs. Drew Holiday's a confident guy. So I would say they are as confident. Now, without Zion, I still think it's a tough road to hoe, so to say. But I do think they're a confident team, listening to them talk every day, and I think they're ready to see what they can do in these 8 games when they start on the 30th.
Yeah, and look, the starting lineup, even without Zion, still feels very talented. Who do you think is most important to step up in his absence? Is it Lonzo Ball, who was playing some of the best basketball in the entirety of the NBA before the season got suspended? Is it Brandon Ingram getting back to that all-star form? Who's most important?
Yeah, I would say if Zion's not there, especially in those first 2 games, they're going to have to get Brandon Ingram, the all-star Brandon Ingram, that should be the most improved player in the NBA this season.
Yep.
And he's going to have to really, especially offensively, carry them. And so I would say that that's what you're going to have to see. Early in the season, Ingram, when Zion was out for 44 games, Ingram emerged as a true all-star and an elite scoring threat from anywhere on the floor. And I think that that's what they're going to have to get back to, especially against Utah that can be stingy defensively, and against the Clippers team that is truly loaded for bear with a great coach in Doc Rivers. So I would say that if Zion's not back, it'll be a heavy dose of Ingram. But I hope, Zion can maybe potentially make it back and really give them a chance to get into the playoffs because, a first-round matchup, I don't care if they go out quick. Lakers, Pelicans, Zion, Anthony Davis, LeBron. Talk about must-see TV. That would be fantastic.
From the NBC affiliate down in New Orleans, Fletcher Mackel joining us here on Off the Bench, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. The NFL announced yesterday that they are going to training camp with limited roster, trimming it down from 90 to 80 participants. T-Bob and I were talking in hour number 1, and T had a good point. This probably favors New Orleans because of how confident they were in their roster. How do you feel about that going into next week?
Yeah, look, I looked at some of those dates. The first time they're going to put the pads on, if a lot of the reports are correct that we're seeing, it's going to be something like 10 days before they play their first game or 2 weeks before they play their first game, before they go full pads. The ramp-up period with the testing, getting guys back in shape, helmets and shells, to go to full pads like 2 weeks before you play, it certainly benefits. It reminds me of 2011, the lockout year, and I know players keep saying it's not the same. It's the same in a certain way. Look at a team like Carolina. New head coach, new offensive coordinator, new quarterback, a ton of new players. They haven't practiced one day together. That's not great. And if anything, I look at game 1 and say, I know that, Tom Brady's in 20 plus years and is the greatest quarterback in NFL history. But nonetheless, the fact that he will have very limited time on the field with his receivers to find the rhythm, to find the synergy, that certainly benefits the Saints, because I think Drew Brees and Michael Thomas can complete that slant pass in their sleep, and this team knows what they're doing and how to do it. So, yeah, if you're going to have, they are going to have a really condensed, no preseason games and in a strange preseason period, I certainly think that benefits the teams that have been there. Even a team like the Packers that had turmoil this year, they didn't have a lot of a turnover in their organization. Minnesota, the Saints, the Chiefs, the Seahawks, I think teams that have consistent rosters without a lot of turnover are going to be the ones that at least come out the gate, better than some of these newer versions of what we're seeing in the NFL. Tampa Bay, Carolina, and some of the other teams. New England with Cam Newton as their new quarterback. I think that the preseason would have been beneficial to some of those teams.
Fletcher Mackel, thank you for the time this morning, man. We'll talk again soon.
All right, thank you all for having me.
Thanks, Fletcher. You the man.
Fletcher Mackel checking in from New Orleans this morning. We'll play a game of Would You Rather Wednesday next.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All-Star Toyota brings you Off the Bench daily here. Remember, online you can find them at allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com. Whether it is pre-owned and certified models or a new car that you're looking for, you can get it all and shop them all online at allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com. If you want to get in there today for a test drive, you can. Go see Aaron Piku and the great sales team over there. Stop by, and I saw Tommy Wagaspack from the service department. Lisa Sessions was in there helping me with the rental. All the good people over there at All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. Join the All-Star family today. Stop in and see All-Star Toyota on the corner of Goodwood and Airline.
Yeah, shout out to our guy Lee Carney as well, hooking it up. All-Star proud sponsors of OTB. OTB proud drivers of All-Star Toyotas. And you should get in one too. So go check it out. $4,500 customer cash on the new 2020 Tundra. 0% APR financing for 72 months of the new Camry. 0% APR financing for 60 months of the new Avalon. The July deals are here. Go to allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Join us Wednesday night for Jimmy Ott's Game Time, live from Louis Cafe right outside the campus of LSU. Their cheese fries are awesome. Jimmy's back from his trip and joins Ben Mintz from 6 to 8 p.m. Catch it right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, Rayshawn Davis stopping by here in a couple of minutes on Off the Bench. Big day, T-Bob. Year 3 of the flag football run for Little Jay's team.
Oh, I thought you were about to say you're getting back into flag football. I was like, bro, is only so many times you could touch the hot stove.
Discussion's still open.
Oh, wow. You feeling that traction?
Year 3, T, for the youth flag football. This is usually the year when the big-time coaches deliver championships.
Shout out Coach O.
You look at Sean Payton. You look at Coach O. Even Nick Saban.
What grad transfers have you made, though? Have you brought in any Burrow, Cole Tracy type of players?
Got a couple.
Okay.
Went through the spring league. The spring league was washed out by COVID, but we were able to get a couple of practices in. Was able to put my eyeballs on a couple of prospects in which we extended some offers to. So this is a big season for us in flag football. Year 3 is going to be the make or break, especially for me as the coach, on whether or not we deliver a championship or I hang the whistle up for good. We will start training camp today. There are 8 players on the team.
Is there anybody you're looking to recruit that you want to shout out specifically right now?
The roster's not closed just yet. We got a couple that we're in contact with that hopefully we can get an official visit in by the weekend. But we like our squad going into training camp.
Who's the bag man? Do you need me to be the bag man?
No, we're good there. We're good there. 3 years into this thing, we've got it figured out finally.
I'm sure Musso or Danny could go drop off a paper bag somewhere if you needed to.
Nobody's heard from Rivers in a while, have they?
Okay. There we go. That makes sense.
Think we just got her at home babysitting?
Just leave it in the dump.
General manager. All right, Would You Rather Wednesday every week here on Off the Bench. Here's the latest edition.
Here they come, yo. Here they come. Here they come. This or that. 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 This.
Okay, which would you rather be?
Now, what superpower would you rather have?
The question is, would you rather date the blind or the deaf?
Would you rather drown or be burned alive?
Would you rather be overpaid or underrated?
Rather you just said thank you and went on your way.
All right, it is that time of week where we ask you some of life's toughest conundrums. And we start here. You walk down the street and you're stopped by a friendly person. He says he wants to make somebody happy today, so he offers you either $1,000 US or a sealed envelope. You don't know the contents of the envelope. If you choose one, you cannot change it later. Would you rather take the $1,000 or the sealed envelope?
Give me the envelope.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to make somebody happy.
Yeah.
So, like, it shouldn't be anything bad in the envelope.
Oh, okay. I like this argument, Moose. But is it better than $1,000? Because y'all are
$1,000 does not go as far as it used to. There,
that's
man.
fair. That's fair. But that is a gaming.
Envelope.
I could make a gaming PC, or I could give a hefty portion of that gaming PC. Y'all are. I think I want to take the money. It's kind of funny though. Y'all are falling into the Peter Griffin mystery box logic.
Of course.
Where they offer him the boat or the mystery box. He's like, I mean, the mystery box could be anything. It could be a boat. Give me the mystery box.
There's
Absolutely.
a box of matches.
Such a good episode. God, that one's good.
I'm with you, Bob. I'm picking the money.
Yeah, I'm taking the sure thing. I'm taking the money.
Danny.
Because like, well, you open the envelope and okay, it's like Super Bowl tickets. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And maybe you could sell those for more. So maybe I'm wrong there. But there's too much. Give me the sure thing. I'll take the $1,000.
Take the envelope.
Yep, envelope.
I really want that PC. Would you rather have lightsaber and force powers, wand and Harry Potter magic, or the ability to control all 4 elements? That's your wind, water, earth, and fire.
All elements. I know nothing about the background of the movie and the powers.
Yeah.
To being able to control all elements in all seasons would be pretty cool.
What would you do with that power?
I would make it sunny and cloudless a lot of the days.
Okay.
For sure.
Maybe cool off Louisiana a little bit?
A little bit.
Give you a little breeze whenever you're walking around.
So
I don't
for a
think you
couple of
control world
Saturdays-
weather, but you control what's around you. You're pretty sick. You go like surfing in Tickfall to make a giant wave with like a sick curl that
Snow
you go
skiing
ride.
in St. Francisville.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Bring the slopes to you.
I'm in.
What about you boys?
Yeah, no, I'm for elements. I would never have to worry about rain when I wanted to go play golf ever again.
Okay. Oh, there you
or
go.
rain delays at baseball.
There you go.
Those are non-existent.
There you go, Moose.
That'd be so funny. You'd be walking the course and it'd still be raining. It'd just be like a 10-foot radius around you. It'd be
Right,
like
there
a
you go.
perfectly dry bubble.
Yeah,
Danny?
4 elements. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Give me the, it's too much. The government's going to see you. They're going to dissect you because you're out here just throwing elements all around.
I control the
what?
elements. I'll
I
just
didn't know.
burn
Yeah,
them.
Right. I didn't know that.
hey, look, I'm just saying, what would I
Put
do?
the sun over the White House.
There you
What
go.
would I do if I was the CIA? Give me the Harry Potter stuff. I think it'd be really awesome to be able to clean my house with the wave of a wand. I fantasize about it all the time.
That is a man speaking with 2 young kids.
Yes,
Yeah,
I mean,
that would
dude,
be pretty cool.
You're gonna pick up these toys, do the dishes, do the laundry, vacuum, mop, and all I have to do is wave my wand and drink beer? Come on. Would you rather take it? This one's dark.
You know what my doctor told me was the best way to re-tear your Achilles?
No.
Was stepping on your kids' toys in the middle of the night. How many people
Legos?
that tear,
I caught my first Lego 2 weeks ago, Dan.
re-tear or tear, sprain an ankle,
Yeah.
walking through the house, walking through the room,
At
pitch
night
black
too.
dark,
Yeah.
just step on it. Next thing you know, you're hurled over with a torn Achilles. Good luck to you, T.
I believe it. But when you're a premier athlete, I mean, it's just not that much
Crush
of a
that
problem.
Jamar Chase challenge.
I almost fell down the stairs outside yesterday leaving the building, but I caught myself on one foot like a ninja. Would you rather?
Inside staircase?
Outside staircase. Yeah, that's a big fall, dude.
Broken neck, bro.
Would you rather take this is dark. Would you rather take a 100% chance of dying painlessly right now? Just dead. Or
Fall asleep.
painlessly. Or a 50% chance of being tortured to death over the next 8 hours,
Yeah,
beginning
no,
right now.
Kill me now.
You're not going to torture me. I
No,
don't
but there's
care.
only one way you
I don't-
live.
Kill me
I don't
now.
care.
There's only one way you
Now.
live.
I don't
Kill me
care.
now.
Yeah, now.
Now.
You just die now.
Now. 50% of being tortured, I'm out.
I get scared when a Steph Curry 3-point ball arcs through the air, and that's essentially a 50% chance. I cannot imagine what it would be like watching the coin flip, knowing that you had 8 hours
Oh
of
my
torture,
Yeah, it's,
like tied to whatever that coin said, dude.
that's just stupid.
It's terrifying.
I mean, we've all seen Pulp Fiction, right?
All right, yeah.
It's
Oh.
torture. Bring in the Gimp.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Hey, but I mean, I also like to experience what people in history have experienced.
Ball
I mean,
gag?
yeah, who could
All right.
speak on the Spanish Inquisition better than me if I got my toenails ripped out?
Okay, T, go for it. It's all you, man.
Danny, what you doing?
The painless.
Yeah.
Painless.
Die
Oh,
now.
wow. Everybody's just out.
Die now.
Yeah, I probably am too. Would you rather have free premium Netflix for life or free premium Spotify for life?
Spotify.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go with
Oh,
Spotify.
okay, I'm going Netflix. Y'all know me though. I'm not the biggest. I like both subscriptions, fine, but I'm not the
Spotify's
biggest music guy.
podcast selection is growing and is really good.
Yeah, I've heard they've been making a hard push
Yeah.
on that front.
Check them out.
And so a lot of I think our podcast just on there. So a lot of stuff just lives on there, but then it has unique only Spotify podcast content as well.
Like I believe I might be speaking out of turn here, but the Son of the Hitman, the Woody Harrelson podcast
okay.
that we were talking about in Full Stream Ahead a couple of weeks back, I think was exclusive to Spotify to start. It may be on different platforms now, but I think that was one of their big pushes that you could just find it on Spotify to start with.
While we're on good podcasts, there's a podcast right now with a very local flair, Slow Burn, and it is all about the rise of David Duke. It is the last episode is out this week. I've been listening. It is fascinating, and it is wild to see that was not that long ago that all this stuff was
I
going
mean, when
down.
Shaq
dude.
was in college, David Duke was in a runoff to win the governor.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
it's kind of fascinating too, and horrifying in a way, watching the circumstances that led to all that. Would you rather get killed by a tiger, or killed by a poisonous snake?
I had a death today.
Tiger.
Can I go back to the?
I only choose with
no
the internet.
torture?
The internet. No, the internet gives me these questions. Killed by a tiger or snake?
Tiger's probably gonna be quick.
It's gonna hurt more, but it's probably gonna be quick. Yeah, I don't want to sit there and slowly lose my mind, poisoning to death. Just I'll go out
I don't go
Tiger
near
King
snakes.
style. You don't like snakes?
I don't go near snakes.
Do you think you have a phobia of snakes, or you just?
I'm
Sounds like it.
terrified.
Oh, okay.
I don't go near snakes.
So is my boy Will Blackwell. Always used to mess with him. We go to the haunted house and they'd have over there at 13th Gate. They always have like snakes with like the plexiglass above you.
See,
He
I
used to
don't do- no.
freak out,
I
dude.
don't. I wouldn't
He would not look up.
Wouldn't even go there.
You wouldn't even walk through the room.
Why would I do that?
Wow.
I don't like them. Why would I do that? That's
we need to get a
stupid.
snake guy in studio.
I will quit.
Somebody get the Baton Rouge Zoo. We need a snake guy in here
Calling in
immediately.
sick. Calling in sick.
We've never done like an animal visiting
Don't.
the studio type of deal.
Bring gators. You can bring a spider.
Dude,
bring whatever
let's
the hell you
bring-
want. Don't bring a
What
snake.
about like a nice snake?
No.
Do they exist?
No.
Danny?
I'm taking the snake.
Oh, okay.
Dan.
Would you rather everyone think of you as a flat earther or an anti-vaxxer?
Sheesh. Anti-vaxxer. Really, I mean, if I'm given the
Currently.
option, yes. Because
this day
I
and
mean,
age.
like, think about the way you think of people that are flat earthers.
I know, and I think of both very poorly. But I feel like, yeah, you're gonna have more of a community, at least with the anti-vaxxer. Like there are people that I respect and think are smart and I'm friends with that are kind of on the anti-vax train. I know nobody that I respect or think is smart that is on the flat Earth
Here's the
train.
thing. I have a theory. There's actually no such thing as a legit flat earth.
I don't know, bro.
No.
Dude, listen to
Kyrie
these-
Irving?
Bro.
Kyrie Irving does not actually, but there are literal pictures of the Earth from space, and you can see that it is round.
But
And you
they
cannot
don't-
dispute that somebody has been up in space.
They don't believe it. It's like that. There's an entire Netflix documentary with these flat earthers trying to prove flat Earth
No.
theory, and then the experiments that they do just prove that it's round, and they
That's
still
why-
just
that's
ignore
why
it.
They
no
think
one ever
Armstrong.
believes
They
that.
think Armstrong and Aldrin were in their living room.
Stanley Kubrick, bro. Look
Nobody
it up.
actually believes that.
Look
I'm
it up.
sorry.
We never landed on the moon, Moose. Don't you know anything? Jeez. Take the blue pill next time. Or the red pill? I don't know which one it's supposed to be.
Avo Marzawanian inside the huddle. Go watch the video of the guy jumping into the fence to sneak into the zoo in China. He jumped into the tiger exhibit. Not a slow death. There's video of that?
Yeah, I
Wait,
feel like
not
they
a
rip
slow
your arms
not
apart
a
and,
slow
like-
death, or it is a slow death?
Not a slow death.
Oh, okay.
Like-
Yeah, that's. I mean, tiger.
They like
cats-
rip your limbs apart.
Yeah, cats play with their food, right? Maybe Danny's right. Maybe we should revisit this. Should we snake guys now? I feel like I want to be a snake guy now.
No, you're out, man.
Damn it.
It's a slow drip. You're watching that venom just dip into your bloodstream.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think I'd actually maybe rather take that now instead of the tiger.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think I
man.
might be changing my mind.
Bite me in the neck.
Yeah, but like Danny said, what
You
if you
just
just
said
like
you just said it was not a slow death.
yeah,
right?
like what if the tiger like sits there and like rips off your arm and
Yeah,
then
like,
like
what
a
if it like
leg?
plays with your arms?
I mean, I'm just saying,
It's kinda
just get
gnawing
me to-
on
just
you.
get one bite to like the main artery, the
Yeah,
main.
you'd be lucky. Yeah.
Would you rather have visual or auditory hallucinations?
Visual.
Both. All right, next.
Rayshawn Davis next.
Off the bench with Colada and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by Donaldsonville Glass and Body, DGBauto.com. Remember, if you are looking for collision repair this morning, stop in by Donaldsonville Glass and Body, 415 Division Street. They got 24-hour towing they can help you with over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Online, DGBauto.com. Stop in and see him. 24-hour towing available from Nick Frederick and the crew. Online, DGBauto.com.
DGBauto.com, DonaldsonvilleGlassandBody.com. Go there today for all of your car needs, okay? All of them, everything. If you do get in an accident, the collision shop is second to none. Like, it is the absolute best, and they will actually pick you up and then they'll pick the vehicle up, fix it, and then drop it right back off to you with their brand new tow truck. It's a really enjoyable experience, but it's not just if you get in an accident. If you need an oil change, check engine light pops on, you don't know what's going on. Your inspection sticker may have expired during quarantine. I know mine did. They do those all at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. It's a literal one-stop car shop. I go there for anything and everything. Go to dgbauto.com, dgbauto.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Ochsner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Ochsner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Ochsner Baton Rouge, innovating health.
Yo, join us for a Wednesday edition of Hanging with Hester and Handy, presented by Richard Honda. Matt Flynn comes back in. As you know, the show turns into a Hanging with Flester, a 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, Ed Ogeron was here yesterday morning talking about the recruiting heater that LSU football has been on as the Tigers right now, with 16 commitments from all over the country. Really the headliner, and has been since the opening of this recruiting period, has been one of the best linebackers in the country. He's out from the West Coast, Mater Dei High School, famous for just producing prospect after prospect. The latest in line is Rajon Davis. Davis is a five-star linebacker from Mater Dei that has been committed to the Tigers for a while. We mentioned that he was named to the Butkus Award watch list for prep linebackers in America. He's also a student athlete in the state of California who announced earlier this week that they were postponing fall sports until December. So what is one of the best high school football players in the state of California? Think about that decision. Rajon Davis joins us right now here on Off the Bench, ESPN, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. Good morning, Big Timer. How are you, man?
Good morning. Good morning. How's it going?
Thank you for joining us. First, before we get to the decision that California made, take me through your recruiting process. What about LSU stood out about the Tigers that is so far away from home that made you commit to Baton Rouge?
I would say it was really the family aspect of the whole thing. With being able to take 2 visits. So I've been able to be out there and get acclimated to the whole environment. That helped me a lot, and then my parents were able to see everything as well. So that just showed them that I would be able to thrive in that situation. And, Coach always explained that to us, and then he talked to my little brother as well. So he just really showed us that it would be a big family thing. And that's really the main thing about this whole recruiting process, is what I wanted to get out of it. Somebody that's going to develop me and make me the best player I could be. and just treat me like I was his own son. So that's really the big thing for me.
Tell me about your experiences in Baton Rouge. Did you make it down for a game? If so, what game? And what was the time like in the South?
Well, the first time I had come, it was for the SP Elite Camp. So
Okay.
that I was down there for that. Doing the next day, we came and we went to Lafayette, and then after that, we went to LSU. And so that was the first time I had been up there. It was with my mom and my dad, and then my little brother. So that was pretty cool. And then the second time I went, it was by myself. I had just went with Elias. So that was my second time going, and we went to the spring game. It was the first time that I saw actually Darius Stingley play. So we got to see him get his first pick. So I was like, oh, I could kind of see the star in the making. So I was like, yeah, I could tell he's going to be a great player. So that was my first time there. And then so I was able to see Elias. You know, I saw the love he was getting as a commit there. And I was like,
Rajon, hold 1 second. 1 second. Something's going on with your cell. We're going to get you in a better cell
Yeah,
area
we're
and pick
gonna call
back
you
up that conversation. But he's talking about Elias Ricks. Elias Ricks was a modern-day standout who transferred to IMG Academy for his senior season and then ended up at LSU. Ray, we got you back?
yeah, you got me. I'm
Okay,
here right here.
Sorry about that. Okay, then you were talking about you and Elias and seeing all the love that Elias was getting from the staff.
Yes, sir. He was. I just saw. You know, after he committed, he told me that it's not that big of a deal. The whole distance thing. You know, they show you the amount of love that you need. And Coach O, he coached at USC, so it just proves that a Cali person can make it out there in Louisiana. You know, so the whole distance thing isn't that big of a deal. So. I just like to tell people that, because they that's the biggest thing for them.
Yeah.
They just try to see if a kid will make it out. So that's not an issue for me. My parents, they know they'll support me wherever I go.
And so you're committed to LSU, and they just recently made a coaching change in switching over from Dave Aranda to Bo Pelini. Have you been able to speak with Coach Pelini at all during this pandemic?
Yes. Well, actually, I was able to meet him before the whole thing closed down. I was able to get out there one last time, and meet Coach Pelini and meet most of the new people, most of the new staff. So that was pretty cool. I actually like him a lot. I like his scheme. What he does. He's really for the players, actually.
So Rajon, the news recently has been, it's unprecedented, right? California pushing back high school sports, fall sports until the spring. I think Virginia's doing the same.
Yes,
obviously, that affects you directly going into your senior year. So what were the plans? What was your reaction when you heard the news?
Well, at first I was, kind of shocked. I was just waiting the whole time, just to try and wait it out, see how everything would fall into place. So I wasn't really too bothered about it because my original plan wasn't to graduate early. So I had the coaches had already told me that there was a possibility of it being pushed back. So I didn't really trip over it too much. I was just trying to work out and, just wait for the green light, wait till it get to go. So that's all it was for me.
So you're not graduating early?
No, sir.
So what is the plan for this fall? Is it just to stay ready, and then are you planning on playing in the spring?
Yes, sir. I plan on playing because our first game will be the first week of January, so that's when I'll play.
Nice. Rajon Davis, 5-star linebacker, LSU commit, joining us here. ESPN, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria.
So when you met with Coach Pelini and the rest of the new staff, Rajon, what did they kind of sell you on? Like, what is their vision for you and what your role can be on this team?
Well, Coach Pelini actually explained to me. He said don't be worried about coming in and trying to start automatically. He said if you come in and work, you'll get your play time and you'll be able to shine. And so that's what I really loved. He didn't try and sugarcoat it or anything. He showed me straight. And then he talked to my parents and told them, that he'll take care of me. He just has to come in and work and be smart, make the right decisions. So that was very helpful. And then, he says that they say that I'll be able to play probably Sam linebacker, if not will. So I'll be able to play off the edge still, make plays in space, the same things I do in high school.
You mentioned Elias Ricks, and Ricks, coming out of modern day, was the number one cornerback in the country. He transferred to IMG Academy for his final season,
sir.
But he is now in Baton Rouge. Have you been able to talk to him about his time, what it's been like as he's kind of become acclimated to playing college football?
Oh yeah, I talk to Elias like almost every other day. So we talk a lot. We talk about things, So he likes it. He likes it. He says it's just a lot of work. So he said just be prepared to come in and work. I said, oh yeah, I'm gonna be ready. He said IMG got him a little bit ready. So, but it's not as much as ready as he said. He said Coach O is he's on a different type of level now with this championship stuff. So I'm just ready to work. Get some great work in, be another champion.
Yeah, and Tommy Moffitt, who I'm sure you've met, he don't mess around either.
He's serious. He's one of the best in the game.
Well, Rajon, what was it like for you being out in Cali this last football season and knowing, the relationship you had with LSU and watching that national championship run from afar?
Oh, it was great. I was just my mom. She had a smile on her face the whole time. The whole time they was winning. So she was very happy, very proud. She was very excited about my decision. So I was very pleased that she was happy with what I did, and everything's from my mom and my dad. So I'm just I'm a big family kid.
Yeah.
I'd imagine that your phone is continuing to ring, especially from some West Coast schools. Where is your recruiting at? Is it finalized? Is it over?
Oh yeah, it's pretty much locked away. Because the only thing I wanted to do is really take the official visit. So we can't really take official visits. So it's pretty locked away from me. I can't really see anywhere else pulling me in at this point.
Beautiful. We spoke to Mason Smith a couple of weeks back. He is a huge LSU target, and then Corey Foreman is a big LSU target and buddies with Smith as well. How much have you been helping recruiting for the class? It seems like you were very active on Twitter with this group. How close is this 2021 class?
Oh, we're very close. We have a group chat on Snapchat and Twitter, so we talk every day on Snapchat. Just everybody we're trying to get acclimated with each other. So by the time we get there, it's just easy. We're already clicking. We can just get to winning already. So that's what we're trying to do with that. And then we all talk about like who our targets are, our biggest targets, and then we all go after them.
Wow.
On like social media. So.
LSU.
Yeah, that's really we're trying to really get close together, build a great bond, and just keep us pushing, keep the greatness going.
LSU got a real shot with Foreman?
Oh, man, I'm trying, but it's hard. It's hard to get, Cali. It's hard to talk to Cali kids out of staying in Cali.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, man. That's a beautiful part of the country for sure.
I'm trying to tell him, it's only going to take 3 years, bro. You can go back after that.
Absolutely. Rajon, selling them, baby.
Too, man. You come down here, you'll be forged in the flames, man. Once you deal with Louisiana Heat and you deal with that Moffitt string program, you come get tough down here. Ain't nothing going to ever phase you for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Imagine that being your second home. That's ridiculous. You have your South and you got your beautiful Cali weather. So that's what I'm saying. I said I'm not worried about that. I have had family down there before, so it's not that big of a deal to me.
You have brought up your younger brother a couple of times, and it seems like Coach O has made a point to make a connection and a relationship with him. Is he a prospect too?
Oh yes, he's gonna be incoming freshman. So Coach Osborne and Coach they talk to him a lot. They tell him that he's gonna be getting his offer pretty soon. So Ramir, he's pretty happy about everything. He loves it. He was happy with my decision as well.
Rajon Davis, one of the best linebackers in high school football, recently named to the Butkus Award watch list going into his senior season. He has confirmed he will play spring football, and he is committed to the LSU Tigers. It's great to catch up with you this morning, man. Let's do it again soon.
Yes, sir. Sounds great. Thank you for having me on this morning. Go Tigers.
You got it.
Yes, sir. Look at him, dude.
Rajon Davis checking in from the West Coast this morning. We'll close out hour 2 next.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Brought to you by Lanois Insurance Agency, online at lanoixagency.com. Remember, 749-5640. You need auto insurance, home insurance, business insurance. Lanois Insurance Agency prepared to take the phone call this morning. Remember, a great starting point for maybe savings. If you're looking to save money, you can call and get a free quote this morning from Lanois Insurance. Online, lanoixagency.com.
LanoisAgency.com, LanoisAgency.com. I'm just continually impressed with this batch of high schoolers, dude. It's just, Maybe it tells who's recruiting. Maybe it's just because these kids are so media savvy now, but they're just so damn good in interview settings. It's almost like how good Lanois is in insurance settings. You want to bundle your home and auto? Get a little flood insurance? Well, at Lanois, they're going to find you the policy that's going to give you the most coverage at the best rate, and you're going to have the peace of mind that you want. Go to LanoisAgency.com, LanoisAgency.com.
Sports will be back.
But for now, we're all rooting for a different kind of hero.
Let's embody the best parts of sports.
Teamwork,
sacrifice,
resilience.
One goal, together.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. NFL rookies begin reporting on Tuesday. We start to look ahead to the upcoming season on AFR. 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, good stuff from Rajon Davis. Butkus Award watch list for his senior season. Mater Dei High School out in California going to play his senior season. That's going to kick off in December and play through the spring, as he's one of the top linebackers in the country. And again, a very impressive young man as he stopped by here on Off the Bench. Remember, that'll be a part of today's YouTube station on Off the Bench, so you make sure you can shop it there if you need it. Carriage is bringing back that sound.
Just Google Off the Bench YouTube. That'll bring you to a channel. We're a little under 500 subscribers away to 10K. If you could help us hit that number, that'd be awesome. Me and Jordy will eat some incredibly hot wings. If we hit that 10K, I have not forgotten about the beef fizz too. That is coming. I've just been lazy making that happen. Jordy doesn't have to do that. But yeah, I signed you up for that. If we hit 10K, we're eating super hot wings on air.
That's fine.
Super simple. It'll be funny. It'll be fun.
I'm not doing the meat fizz.
And then if you want the live action all day, every day, hanging with Hester and Hanny, AFR, and then Game Time. It's all on 104.5 ESPN. So you can go check it. 104.5 ESPN YouTube. You Google that. It's right there. It's live all day, every day. It's like its own TV channel. One thing that Rajon talked about there that really stood out to me, a couple things that I love about this new age. First off, I love the idea of all these text groups and Snap groups and everybody getting together and actively trying to recruit to add to the class. And that's something that we even did back in my day, which I guess I'm getting old now because that's 13 years ago when I would have been a senior in high school, so about 13, 14 years ago. But I know. But the tools were not there in terms of group texting and everything else. Maybe it was like a MySpace DM. Like a Facebook DM. Yeah, exactly, right? Maybe you put a recruit in your MySpace top 6. Let them know, why don't you come hang out with us down here in Baton Rouge? But it just seems so much easier now, and they have that repertoire, that chemistry.
A West Coast kid, California kid is that, you get the commitment, but you get it so early on and you're able to maintain it and hang on to it throughout the entire recruiting process because, like you said, all those California schools, and you got to imagine Oregon, those West Coast schools are coming after him. With a lot of steam. So I appreciate Rajon Davis for stopping by this morning. Hour 3, OTBOT coming at you with T-Bob. Jeff Duncan going to stop by, talk more New Orleans sports. Saints report next week. Pelicans.
It's Pelicans game
day,
baby.
Some scrimmaging as
Flock.
Hour 3 off the bench. All-Star Toyota.
Flock up, Danny. Won't bow down.
Off the bench with Collada and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily here by Ochsner Ortho Sports Medicine. Remember, over at Ochsner Sports Medicine, we've been telling you about all of their facilities, whether it is in New Orleans, if it is in Baton Rouge, or over on the North Shore in Covington. One of the great personnel, and this is one of the most impressive things about Ochsner, is it seems like they have personnel for either every injury or every part of sports. Take, for instance, Warren Fitzmaurice, who's down in New Orleans, and he's a mental performance coach who has been on staff for 5 years. When I learned that Warren had been on staff for 5 years, I think it goes and talks about the forward thinking that Ochsner has in-house. To have a mental preparation coach, to have a mental health coach as far as sports performance on staff at Ochsner says a ton.
And it's just what we talked about. They do things like gait analysis, right? Advanced metrics to look like neck strength, back strength, how to fix your ball. If you want to maximize your potential health-wise, sports performance-wise, you want Ochsner to go to ochsner.org/sportsmedicine.
104.5 ESPN invites you to take a short quiz for a chance to win a brand new EU1000 generator from our friends at Bozeman Distributors. Simply go to 1045ESPN.com now through August 16th and take the quiz to see how prepared you are for hurricane season. Everyone who takes the quiz is automatically entered to win the generator. Our winner will be chosen on Monday, August 17th. Get prepared for hurricane season from 1045 ESPN and stay prepared with Bozeman Distributors.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocol.
Rouge. This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning, everyone. It's 8 a.m. on a Wednesday, July the 22nd. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see partly cloudy skies with a high of 91. In case you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch that up at the on-demand section. 1045ESPN.com, brought to you by Carriages. Coming up today on OTBOT, we will talk with Jeff Duncan at 9:30. Remember, you can follow today's show by joining us inside the 1045 ESPN Huddle app. Brought to you by Bayou Ford on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch us live on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel, and make sure to subscribe to the Off the Bench channel and set your notifications. And hey, if you want to win a free generator, go to 1045ESPN.com now through August 16th and take a quiz to see how prepared you are for hurricane season. Everyone who takes that quiz will instantly put their name in a drawing for a brand new E1000 generator from Bozeman Distributors. Get prepared for hurricane season from 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge and stay prepared with Bozeman Distributors. OTBOT starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What is up, everybody? Welcome in hour number 3, OTBOT. You already know. It is the last hour of the show, where myself, Matthew Musso, and Danny Cardenas hang out with you. We got a lot to get to this hour. Take more of a New Orleans bit this hour as I want to dive into some Pelicans, dive into some Saints. Boys, don't look now. It's Pelicans game day. 6 p.m. tonight, baby. Go to Pelicans.com if you live within 75 miles of the Smoothie King Center.
Scrimmage, right?
It's a scrimmage, yes. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. Sometimes in this job, what is it? You can't see the forest through the trees. Like, I'm so deep in the weeds, I forget what's common knowledge and what's not. Yes, it is not actually game day. It is a scrimmage day. But with a team like the Pelicans that has as many questions swirling around, especially in Zion's absence, I think a scrimmage day carries a little more excitement with it. What is this little bit of hair doing right here? I just got to
just hanging
it's
out.
Annoying me. What's not annoying me is going to be watching some Pelicans tonight. If you live within 75 miles of the Smoothie King Center, you can get it on Pelicans.com. You can watch it there. You can listen on 100.3 ESPN. If you don't live within 75 miles, I think you can get it on NBA TV. We'll have to double check that. But, yeah, I'm super excited. Not just for the front line, like, okay, what does the starting lineup look like? Is B.I. going to look like the guy that's going to step up in Zion's absence? But I want to see how they use this bench. Remember, one of the main questions we have been asking, what's this hair doing? Whatever. one of the main questions.
It's the headphones, T.
I mean, dude,
You might want to just reposition.
I think it's some pods or something. I don't know. It's fine. We'll deal with it. We'll do it live. Okay, we'll deal with it during the break. But one of the main questions we've been asking is Drew and Lonzo, when they're in the court together, they're dominant. Outscoring opponents by 12 since January 1st, all the things, right? When Lonzo comes off the court, the number goes to -1. So who's going to step up at guard? Well, we may get answers today. We heard so much Nickeil Alexander-Walker hype. He's getting better and better and better. He grew an inch. How about that? He grew an inch, 3/4 of an inch during this break. And I believe it. I mean, look, you can continue growing throughout your early 20s if you're kind of a late enough bloomer. So is Walker that guy that's going to step up? Is it E'Twaun Moore? What's J.J. Redick's role? Does he enter the starting lineup at all? Like, there's so many questions to be answered, and that starts tonight at 6 o'clock. So I can't wait for that. Baseball starts tomorrow, Moose. How are we feeling? You getting excited?
The Red Sox played a scrimmage last night.
How'd it go? Huh? How did Mookie Betts do? Oh, look, I'm new to the baseball thing.
I don't
dude.
want to talk to you anymore.
I forgot that Mookie wasn't on there anymore.
Yeah, you forgot. They blew a lead late and lost.
But does it matter? Like, are they playing their backups at that point? Like,
no.
Okay.
It was Ryan Brazier,
okay,
who was not good last year and is apparently, picking up where he left off. So.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you need.
They play the Orioles on Friday. Let's go.
It sounds like you need a different size Brazier. That's a terrible joke, and I have nowhere to go but here. Let's talk about a little Saints football then, because that too is right around the corner. Don't forget too. So we have scrimmage tonight, baseball tomorrow, and then LSU starts football school. They start their walkthroughs on Friday. We're getting close here, folks. And the NFL day by day is codifying what they're going to do for them to return to play. And we talked about it yesterday. The latest is no preseason. The NFL has also proposed cutting down those camp rosters from 90 to 80. And it makes sense on both fronts. As far as no preseason goes, like I said, I think that's a shadow benefit to the Saints because they have such a fully formed and figured out roster compared to other rosters that have more question marks that won't be able to get it, compared to other rosters that may need more in-game time on task that won't be able to get it. But it does affect the players as well. Nick Underhill explores this on NewOrleans.football. Again, if you are a Saints fan, I'd really recommend checking it out. I'm not going to tell you to subscribe, although I am a very pleased subscriber to Nick's site. I believe that it is worth it. But he basically offers this idea of, who does this affect most? Not having preseason, and he raises Jameis Winston's name. And he's right. And it almost could potentially become another advantage for the New Orleans Saints. Because when you look, one of the reasons, obviously the 5-0 Teddy Bridgewater streak last year is the main reason why he got the contract that he did. But it's not the whole reason. It's that 5-0 stretch paired with what he did in his preseason appearances, where he looked very competent and looked like a starting caliber cornerback. Jameis Winston will not be afforded that opportunity now. So if Drew Brees doesn't have to sit for any reason and Jameis Winston doesn't get to play, then how are teams going to evaluate Jameis Winston any differently next year than they did this year? And if that's the case, and if Brees ends up wanting to hang it up after this year or something along those lines, like the Saints would have insider trading info on Winston due to practice and everything else that nobody else would have. And so they would be able to set the market for him and have be able to make a fully informed decision about whether or not they want to roll with him into the future. Do they want to set up a competition between him and Taysom Hill, or did they see enough where they're okay with letting him walk, wherever that may be? So Jameis Winston's definitely going to be affected by the no preseason. One other side effect of all of this that Nick goes into is this idea of what happens if the salary cap goes down next year. And we've touched on this, but Nick, leaving no stone unturned, connecting all of the dots, he has actually laid out some hard numbers as to how the Saints can manage cap. And we all know what Mickey Loomis does. He is a magician with numbers. He is like a, Marty from Ozark level of accountant when it comes to making numbers do different things and just making it work. But even he may be challenged depending on what happens to the salary cap. Right now, the Saints have $250 million on the books next year for salaries. The cap this season is $198. Is expected to raise by like 10. And so the Saints would have still been over, but it would have been very easy to get under. Here are some of the moves that they can make. If Brees retires, that'd be a potential move. That could save you $13 million right there. They could convert Cam Jordan's salary and roster bonus, stretch those payments out over 5 seasons, adding a voidable year at the end. We might as well call this the Loomis special because this is what he does constantly. It's just a way of moving around cap hits and numbers where instead of paying all now, you it's a little bit of kicking the can down the road. But the idea is that the can stays manageable. So you can continue to kick it. It never gets too heavy to kick and you never have to deal with it. So you can pull the Loomis special. You can spread him out over 5 years. That'll save you $10 million. You can spread the Loomis special on Armstead. That'll save you $6.7 million. You could do the same things or you could extend Lattimore and Ramczyk to backloaded deals. Eventually they'll get the Loomis special as well. That could save you about $10 million. Taysom Hill, Janoris Jenkins, Andrus Peat, they could all be potential guys. They all make $9 million or above. Cut Nick Easton, save $5 million. Cut Malcolm Brown, save $5 million. Cut Jenkins, save $7 million. So if the cap stays flat, if it stays at 198 even, it's a problem. But the Saints could figure out how to get under it. The real problem would be if it was to drop significantly. And this is a pretty shocking number. If the if the NFL was just to use the regular equation that they do to figure out where that cap number should be, y'all, based on the projections, experts think that the cap would come out to $120 million. You're talking about a $70 million drop all of a sudden. You plan these things years in ahead. You've been planning contracts thinking that you're dealing with an over $200 million cap, and then it comes in at 120. That would cause chaos in the NFL. I mean, it would cause it to implode. You'd have to cut the entire teams. And I don't think that's going to happen, right? And it's one of the main reasons why, when it comes to one of the final fights in all of this that has to be had between the NFL and the NFLPA, which is the economic fight, which is who is going to bear the burden of that revenue loss. I think that the owners just have to take this one on the chin. And if you look at the Packers right now, and they're a fascinating team to look at because they are publicly owned. So they do have to pay their books. They're able to pay their entire roster, all of their salaries, with 2/3 of their TV cut. And that is a TV cut that is only going to increase when they renegotiate next year. That is a TV cut that's going to get even higher. So for the owners, it's going to be really hard for the owners to sit there and say that the players should bear this. The owners should bear it. You got to keep the cap at least flat for next year. You cannot go down to 120. And if you can, it looks like the Saints are actually in a pretty good position despite having $250 million on the books for next year. They're actually in a pretty good position to manage that tightrope. And that's thanks to Mickey Loomis and Kai Harley, who are just money magicians. All right, coming up next here on OTBOT, how about this? So did y'all see what the NBA announced? Awards are done. Whatever goes down in the bubble playing-wise will not affect the regular season awards, like MVP, Rookie of the Year, all that. That is going to be voted on. The hay is already in the barn. Who do we think will win what? We'll get to it next here on OTBOT.
OTBOT. Off the Bench, hanging with Hester and Hanny. After Further Review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube page. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat. Find highlights for each show's channel and get notified whenever we go live.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
and an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Join us Wednesday night for Jimmy Ott's Game Time, live from Louis Cafe right outside the campus of LSU. Their cheese fries are awesome. Jimmy's back from his trip and joins Ben Mintz from 6 to 8 p.m. Catch it right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
The Aaron Rodgers stands are out to get me. They just can't find any argument based in fact or numbers. So they're just having to throw things out. They're like, he's had a terrible head coach. He said this or that. Huh. Packers still drafted Jordan Love, huh?
You mean the head coach, he got fired?
I know. And look, to be clear, I'm saying right now, I'm saying going into 2021, if you want to have a career conversation, that's more of an open debate. That is more of an open debate. I'll still take Brees, but that's more of an open debate. Right now, there's no debate. Drew Brees is a better football player, as it stands today, a better quarterback than is Aaron Rodgers. But I want to talk about the NBA here. Did y'all see the NBA unveiled their new court yesterday? Anybody? Get eyes on it?
I didn't see it.
Okay, so this is going to be where they're playing. What garnered a lot of the headlines, and I get why. Black Lives Matter is going to be right there on the court. Court looks great, et cetera, et cetera. But the detail that stood out to me, they have a ton of video screens all around the court and like staggered, like all different kind of video screens. And then your brain kind of starts to spin. The things that they could do with those video screens are pretty awesome, right? I mean, if you wanted to put in like fake crowds, if you wanted to put in some sort of celebratory graphics, you can do whatever you want. But I want to take it to the next level, because those look like pretty good video screens. I don't know that they look like LED or like high def screens. They look like the little light bulbs or whatever. How about this? Did y'all watch The Mandalorian? Either of you?
No.
All right. Well,
I still need to watch it.
there is I know, Danny, and you're a sci-fi fan, so it's inexcusable. There's an excellent making of series on The Mandalorian right now. And it's on Disney Plus. And they show how they filmed The Mandalorian. And to somebody like me who loves behind the scenes making of stuff, it's pretty fascinating. So basically, they filmed that show in this giant warehouse where they have a huge ring around the set. And the ring is just one giant LED screen. So they never had to build, they didn't have to do green screens or matte paintings. Like, they built the environment with this screen, and then you would add in some real elements. So you'd add in some set dressing. Maybe you have a real X-Wing sitting there on the flat part of the set, and then the LED screen is like showing a hangar behind, right? What if you took that technology, which Mandalorian's made by Disney, what if you took that technology and put it around an NBA court? The possibilities are endless, y'all. Think about it. You want a lava game? Bam. All of a sudden, everywhere's lava. You want to play a game in the vastness of space? All of a sudden, you're in a high-definition star field shooting free throws. Okay? I mean, anything. Blizzard game. Underground game. Game that takes place during the running of the Bulls. I'm just, at this point, just spitting off whatever pops into my head. Anything and everything. The world is your oyster, the same way that the Mandalorian filmmakers were blown away by this ability to just create and customize sets at the touch of a button on a computer. You, too, in the NBA could do this. I just can't get over the visuals of a lava game. Go ahead and throw Duel of the Fates behind that. Giannis and LeBron in the finals going toe-to-toe, or Giannis and Kawhi, whoever it is. And yes, I mentioned Giannis twice because Giannis will likely end up being league MVP.
You could set the tip off in like the Old West.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly.
A tumbleweed goes across.
Yeah, tumbleweed. You could have video of like people like scurrying to their homes, right? Because it's about to go down. Like, oh no, it's high noon. It's about to go down. Anything on LED, high-def screens, it would be so sick. And before anybody's like, well, T-Bob, what if it might be very distracting for the players shooting threes? Like, I don't care. Chill out. We're having fun, okay? Just don't think about it. Just agree with it. But I did mention Giannis there being in the finals no matter what, because I think he will be. And I think he's going to be MVP. And the NBA came out yesterday and said that the awards are done. It does not matter what you do in the bubble. That is not going to factor in awards. We're voting on what was done up to this point. So let's look who we believe will win what award. Unfortunately, the one that most Pelicans fans are going to care about, Rookie of the Year. Zion would have had a chance if not for COVID. He was perfectly set up to make a run to take that 8th seed from the Grizzlies. Obviously, in the 19 games that he played, he was unbelievable from a statistical standpoint, but the availability hurts him, and the sample size just isn't as big as what you saw Ja Morant do this year. So unfortunately, and this was on the ESPN article in which they pulled 20 of their experts for each of these guys, Ja Morant got all 20 votes. So you're looking at Ja Morant going to be your Rookie of the Year, which is funny given where I think Zion's career will end up going. Coach of the Year, Nick Nurse, nothing too exciting there. No Kawhi, no problem. Raptors still very good. Defensive Player of the Year, how about this? Giannis Antetokounmpo. Not only going to take home MVP, also going to take home Defensive Player of the Year. 6th Man of the Year, Montrezl Harrell, Dennis Schroeder, one of those two. I mean, nothing too exciting there. Here's another one that Pelicans fans may care about, though. Most Improved Player. It should go to Brandon Ingram. You heard Fletcher say that earlier. You heard Alvin Gentry recently in the media, basically stumping for his guy, Brandon Ingram. Remember, Brandon Ingram is a player who had kind of been declared dead the same way that Lonzo Ball had. Now, he had a little bit of a nice sample size with the Lakers. He was playing very well before. Was it a heart problem? He had a kind of scary injury that ended up holding him out and stopping.
Blood clots.
Okay, he had blood clots. But it was when he was on fire at the time. But it ended up having to bench him because of it. He couldn't play, and then he ends up getting traded. But Brandon Ingram's a guy that was considered a bust. So was Lonzo Ball. Brandon Ingram made himself into an all-star. Do you know how rare it is to trade an all-star for an all-star in this league? And you trade away Anthony Davis, one of the most transcendent players of his generation, and then you get an all-star wing in return? Come on. Brandon Ingram deserves to be your most improved player. That said, ESPN experts had Bam Adebayo barely edging out Ingram for that award. We'll see. And then finally, MVP. It's the Greek Freak, man. I don't know what to tell you. Giannis Antetokounmpo, look at the numbers. 29.6 points per game. So basically dropping a 30 burger every night. 13.7 boards per game. And here's the wildest part. He puts up 30 and 14 basically in just 31 minutes a night. 31 minutes, y'all, in a 48-minute basketball game. Oh, and the Bucks, they have the NBA's best record, and they're winning their games by an NBA record. Their average margin of victory is 12 points, which is an NBA record. So they're not just beating people, they're just beating people's ass. And it's Giannis getting in and out, quick, dirty, efficient, brutal. He's unbelievable. There's a reason why he's called the Greek Freak. And you're looking at maybe the NBA's best defender. You're looking at a guy who's probably going to become the third player in NBA history to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year. All of this talk about these stars and everything, it's just getting me so excited for the return of this, to watch these guys go toe-to-toe. Tonight's scrimmage isn't against the Bucks. The last scrimmage, which will actually be on Fox Sports NOLA, that is against the Bucks. I believe that takes place early next week. So if you want eyes on Giannis, look forward to that. And by the way, Giannis also in the news because he played us all. Do you remember this story a couple weeks ago when Giannis said he didn't have access to a basketball hoop?
No, I didn't see that.
I bought it. Okay, I'm an idiot. And he came out yesterday. Basically, he lied. And the dumbest part about all of this is when I originally heard that he didn't have access, I was like really concerned. I was like, oh my God, I mean, what you gonna do? He's in the middle of this run. And then yesterday he just said it like, come on though. I'm about to be MVP. Y'all really think I couldn't find my way to a gym? I'm a multimillionaire, maybe the best basketball player on the face of the planet. And he says that he literally did it just to try to gain that little inkling of a competitive advantage, saying he wanted his opponents to think that he wasn't able to work, so maybe they would sit back as well when he was on it the entire time. So he's probably winning back-to-back MVPs. He says he doesn't care. All he wants is a ring. And to me, what I really like about Giannis is he kind of represents everything I wanted Anthony Davis to be. And I don't know if there's any fault of Davis. The Bucks front office has performed about 1,000,000 times better than the Pelicans did in the Davis era. But talk about a small market guy that has put the city on his back. And all of his quotes right now are about winning championships and how the Bucks haven't won since 71. He knows the history. He wants to rewrite the history. That is the man. Also, that's like a team that I'm comfortable cheering for, right? I don't want to cheer for the Lakers. I want to cheer for the Clippers. Screw both them. The Lakers took AD, and they're from L.A. I hate L.A., right? L.A. gets everything. They think they're great. Milwaukee, that's blue collar. They like to drink. I can appreciate it. I can see the common denominators between New Orleans and Milwaukee. So shout out to you, Giannis. Well earned. I think you're about to sweep these awards.
The Pelicans could have drafted him.
You're Giannis?
Yeah, remember 2013? You drafted. We traded. New
I actually don't know. I actually don't know when Giannis was drafted.
2013.
Oh wow.
We traded for. We drafted Nerlens Noel and then we traded for Drew Holiday. That's how we got Drew Holiday. We could have had Giannis. Giannis went 15.
NBA draft sketchy though, right? I mean, you can play that game with so many guys and drive yourself crazy, but it's certainly a bit disappointing. I mean, yeah. Even though Drew's been great, man. Drew's awesome.
He's been solid.
He's been solid. He's not been Giannis.
Giannis.
Yes, obviously. But I got nothing negative to say about Drew. Another guy, full effort, both sides of the floor, great community member. As we said, Drew, want to highlight this again, donating every game check to social justice initiatives in his 3 hometowns, including New Orleans. It's over $5 million. Shout out to Drew and Lauren Holiday. Y'all are the best of us. When we get back, we're going to talk to Jeff Duncan about some of the future technology that you could expect in the NFL, which is an odd tease, but he'll explain it. And then we'll also talk about the Saints here on OTBOT.
OTB OT. Our listeners fire up their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7, The Tiger.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for
Yo, join us for a Wednesday edition of Hanging with Hester and Handy, presented by Richard Honda. Matt Flynn comes back in. As you know, the show turns into a Hanging with Flester, a 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB OT. 104.5 we're doing 94.7 ESPN. Right now, it is my pleasure to talk to one of the luminaries of the New Orleans sports media world, one of the legends. Of course, I'm talking about Mr. Jeff Duncan, at Jeff Duncan _ on Twitter. Catch his work on my favorite sports site right now, which is The Athletic. Full disclosure, I do a podcast on The Athletic, so there's that. But I think it's an awesome sports site. Jeff, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, T-Bob, I'm doing good, man. Fresh from a little vacation. Batteries are recharged.
Hell yeah,
I'm ready to get after football season, man.
I am too. And, and it looks like it's right around the corner. And you had a great write-up in The Athletic recently, Jeff, and we're going to talk about the Saints. So we'll get there, some of the questions that I have on the Saints as they get ready to head into this unprecedented sort of camp situation. But first, you had a pretty interesting article on The Athletic talking about the future of technology in the NFL. And Sean Payton has been someone who has been at the forefront of this. You talk about these RFID chips and balls and the potential of what that could end up doing with like goal lines. So if you had to pitch people about what the most exciting aspect of what the next few years could bring technology-wise, how would you explain it to the listeners?
Well, look, I think for Saints fans in particular, T-Bob, I mean, they should welcome this new technology. I think the Saints are a little bit underrated in that regard. I mean, they've been one of the earliest clients to embrace this new technology. Zebra Technologies is the name of the company. They're out of Illinois, and they use a lot of player tracking, ball tracking technology, putting these RFID chips you mentioned in players' football and their shoulder pads so they can track players throughout practice. Now they have chips in the balls. And this is not just the Saints, but the entire league uses this technology to be able to locate the ball now. I mean, how many games have we all watched where a punt goes out of bounds 20 yards up in the air and you see the official 40 yards downfield trying to walk up the sideline with his arm in the air, trying to determine right where it went out of bounds? Well, now we're going to be able to, in the future, determine exactly where it went out of bounds because of these chips that send signals throughout the stadium. Every NFL stadium right now has 20 receptor boxes in the stadium, and basically it makes a force field around the outline of the field. So as soon as a player steps onto the field with those shoulder pads, with those chips in, they are being tracked by these sensors, and there's a whole team of analysts basically following this, and they can see how fast a player is running. You've seen that on the broadcast right now, those next-gen stats where they'll say Alvin Kamara traveled 23 miles per hour on that run. That's all from this technology, and it's very much a part of the future of the NFL. It's being accelerated. I mean, they're taking their time in one regard as far as when they're going to implement it, but they are embracing it. And this is coming from Roger Goodell on down, trying to take advantage of technology that's at hand because other sports have done it. I mean, we've seen it. If you watch tennis, you certainly see the cyclops and the ball in or out, and it's improved the fan experience. And I think the NFL is ready to kind of go forward with this ball tracking technology. And in particular, I think the ball tracking eventually is going to get to the point where it determines touchdowns on the goal line. And we've seen a number of those in recent years where the officials have to make that very difficult decision of did the ball cross the plane or not. And there's bodies all over the place. It's difficult to see from replay angles on television. We don't have to rely on that anymore with these chips inside the balls.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly how eventually they would figure out if, like, the knee was down or not, but is there a world where, like, as soon as the ball breaks the plane, you have, like, hockey-type sirens and lights going off and just this kind of immediate touchdown gratification?
Right, and you're exactly right, T-Bob. The knee being down is something that would have to be determined in addition to whether the ball broke the plane. But that's only on those type of plays. Certainly not all touchdowns are scored where the knee and the ball breaking the plane are at the exact same time. I think immediately of the Drew Brees leap. How many times have we seen Drew Brees on the goal line leap over the top with the ball, and they have to review it to see, well, you're going to know instantly. If you're a Saints fan, you'll know instantly that ball crosses the invisible field of the sensor lasers on the goal line. And this is Sean Payton's, I guess, added enhancement. He wants to add in these lights on the goalpost so people can immediately see, just like the backboard in the NBA, it'll immediately signal that ball crossed the plane.
That'd be awesome.
And I think that is coming. It's just a matter of them getting that technology down. I think the issue right now is the shape of the ball. It's oblong. They've got to somehow get a chip in each tip of the ball in addition to just being in the middle of the bladder. That way, if you just get the tip of the ball across, it will also send off that signal.
Yeah, so some exciting things potentially afoot. And that read is just like it's what I like about The Athletic so much, right? It's not just your kind of raw beat stories or breakdowns. There's also interesting kind of things like that where you can let your mind really run with it. But let's talk about this New Orleans Saints team, Jeff. So the NFL agreed no preseason games. Is this an advantage for the Saints given the relatively set nature of their roster?
Well, you read my mind. You must be my new editor because that's the column I'm writing as we speak. I think it's a huge advantage, T-Bob. There's no doubt about it, and rest assured, that's how the Saints view it. I think the longer this kind of impasse goes, the longer this thing carries on, the bigger advantage it is for the Saints. Sean Payton sees an opportunity in chaos, and right now there's a lot of chaos in the NFL. And the Saints are positioned very well, along with certain other teams. I think the Patriots, some of these established teams like the Chiefs, that have their rosters pretty set, their coaching staff set, their philosophies and offensive systems, defensive systems set. The Saints really, I think, don't need much of training camp other than to get in shape because they have so many returning pieces on offense and defense. The entire coaching staff basically returns intact. So they, I think, have a real opportunity to get a great head start on the rest of the league.
When you look at this roster, it is set. But if you had to choose the biggest weakness, like where you think the biggest stumbling block could be, what would you circle?
There's no question in my mind. It's got to be the pass rush. In particular, this season, T-Bob, when you look at that lineup of quarterbacks that are going to be facing the Saints, we're talking about maybe the most difficult roster of quarterbacks: Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. Just go down the list, and they've got to find somebody opposite Cam Jordan that can pressure the quarterback, not necessarily get sacks, just disrupt the timing, pressure them. That's why I think a lot of it falls on Marcus Davenport and Sheldon Rankins, two players coming back from injury-marred seasons. How well can they contribute to that part of the game? Because the Saints are not going to be able to sit back. Nobody in the NFL can against these elite quarterbacks and try to play coverage too long. They've got to get after the quarterback, and that's why I'm really going to miss being out at training camp as much as I normally am, because I would love to see how Davenport and Rankins are coming along, especially coming back from those injuries.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, we've talked about that's probably the biggest deciding. Oh, okay, what about this? If pass rush is the biggest kind of question mark to you, what's the how realistic is it that the Saints pursue a Clowney or a Griffin, two very good pass rushers that are still out there?
Well, I think it all depends on the price tag, right? Everything's relative in the NFL. The Saints have so many, upcoming major contracts that they have to, address. Guys like they're already talking to Alvin Kamara right now. I'm sure they've had conversations with Ryan Ramczyk. You've got Marshawn Lattimore coming due. I mean, we're talking about core players that are going to be big-ticket items. They can't afford, I think, to go out and throw big money at Clowney, and that's what he's looking for right now. He's looking for a one-year deal that could pay him roughly $14-15 million a year. I don't think the Saints are in that market. Would they want Jadeveon Clowney? Of course, but it has to fit within their long-term plans. But rest assured, again, Sean Payton is all in this season. He sees an opportunity. It very well might be Drew Brees' last season, and they're going for it. And he will be pushing down the door on Mickey Loomis's office to try and improve that roster as best he can.
Yeah, it does feel like Clowney's been priced out. I still wonder about Griffin. I know people have questions about his mentality, but I don't know. I've been reading up on him, and it just seems like he's actually in a pretty good space, but we'll have to wait and see. Talking to Jeff Duncan, writes for The Athletic, covers your New Orleans Saints, has done so for everyone, Leading Saints Voices, has a great Saints book coming out. When is that coming out again, Jeff?
Yeah, I just actually sent the revisions in this morning, final revisions. It comes out October 13th. It's called Peyton and Breeze, and it's basically the story of how these two men have come together in New Orleans and, in my opinion, built the greatest offense in NFL history. Kind of peel back the curtain on how the sausage is made weekly in that Saints offensive game plan, and what, in particular, these two men, Breeze and Peyton, have made them among the greatest among their peers in the history of the game.
So be on the lookout for that. How about this, Jeff? So there is so much talk about the Saints offense, but the Saints defense, if Davenport lives up to that potential, if Rankins can get back to close to where he was at, I mean, you combine that with Cam Jordan, like the Saints defense has the ability to be very good. What about Janoris Jenkins there on the outside? How much of an impact can he have on that side of the ball?
Well, I think that's another critical area. I would say the secondary after the pass rush, they've got to stay healthy there. They have a little bit of depth, but Janoris Jenkins is in his early 30s. He's in incredible shape, but we all know injuries happen in this league. It's not a matter of if they're going to happen. It's when. Can the Saints withstand that at the cornerback position if, say, Jenkins were to get dinged up? Who do they have outside right now? Their main backups are Patrick Robinson and P.J. Williams. Both of them are better suited inside in the slot. I think that's an area we could see them potentially address also in free agency if they get into a pinch of bringing in another veteran corner that's more accustomed to playing outside. That area, I think, is a little bit of a sneaky concern, not because of who they have now, but because of what could happen in the future if they get some injuries.
Jeff Duncan, at Jeff Duncan _ on Twitter. Catch his work on The Athletic. Look forward to the book coming out in October. Jeff, thank you so much for stopping by with us this morning.
You're the best, T-Bob. Thanks, buddy. Take care.
It's very kind. Now I just need to figure out how to get invited to the media dinners, which is always like him, Fletcher, Sharif, Joel Myers, Kat Terrell, just the best of the best. We'll close out the show next. I think Ryan Clark's mad at me. I don't know. We'll close out OTB-OT next.
OTB-OT. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
ESPN Baton Rouge.
Rejuvenate your life with Rejuvame. RejuvameMedical.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. NFL rookies begin reporting on Tuesday. We start to look ahead to the upcoming season on AFR. 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back to OTB OT. Closing out the show, 104.5 Huntsworthy, 94.7 ESPN. What are y'all most excited for in sports today? For me, it's the Pelican scrimmage. Moose, you got any baseball on the menu tonight?
No, not tonight. No. But I mean, that'd be probably what I'm most excited for right now.
Pellies?
No, I mean baseball coming back.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I'm just excited to have it all back. I'm excited to have actual sports to talk about instead of when.
Instead of like
if.
Instead of which old quarterback has the best chance to win the Super Bowl, which is a great topic. Like it really is. In this COVID era we live in, that's actually a very good conversational topic. It's just that it seems like those have been the topics that we've been talking about forever. Like yesterday on the Hold That podcast, Brody wrote about this in The Athletic, Brody Miller. It was like ranking LSU's defensive positions from most stable to least stable. And it's easy to be like kind of tongue-in-cheek about it. It's ridiculous. But Brody did stumble into something that is very intriguing. Maybe the biggest question mark on the LSU football team that we have all just ignored up to this point. And that is the defensive end position. So when he breaks it down, he says D tackle was number one. And I'm trying to bring it up. Okay, so D tackle number one, cornerback number two, safety number three, linebacker number four, then defensive end. The only thing that I would maybe switch on that, maybe with the Shelvin news, you swip cornerback and D tackle, but like whatever, it's kind of interchangeable. But when you think about defensive ends, it is pretty fascinating, right? And it's even tougher this year to exactly discern whether or not that group or how good that group will be because you're in a completely new defense. You're no longer running the 3-4. So the things that your outside linebackers or your 5 techniques were asked to do last year are not the things that they're going to be asked to do this year. And that's where like a guy like Andre Anthony becomes the perfect representation of what a perplexing problem this really is. Like, how do you evaluate this group? We knew that Andre Anthony was not the best outside linebacker in a 3-4. Now, he's always been a good pass rusher, right? But he was never good enough to consistently play outside linebacker. Well, now he's going to be your starting defensive end, and we're sitting here talking about how talented the defensive line is. Well, how much of the scheme was really taken away from Anthony's play? Will the 4-3 put him in that much better of a position to succeed? And then you go further down the list, you say, okay, who are your biggest pass rushing threats on this LSU team from the outside? And we asked Ogeron this. Who did he say? He said Phillip Webb and B.J. Ojulari. Now, look, I think that Ogeron is honest about his feelings on players. He really is, more so than most coaches. He said here with Brissett, the old good but not great quote, right? Like and he'll find ways to be a little dismissive, I find, if he doesn't, like if I ask a question that's kind of hyping a guy up and he may not agree, it's kind of like a yeah type of deal. They've gone out of their way to talk about Webb and Ojulari. So I think they're going to be very good players. And they could be very good this year. But it is interesting to sit here and we talk about D-line being a strength of the team, and your two best pass rushers are going to be guys who have never taken a college snap. Where it's Andre Anthony, who we've known for years, but had kind of written off up until this moment. And maybe the 4-3 plays well, and maybe he becomes that excellent pass rush. But there is no doubt, like Brody said, that is the least stable position on this defense. But with that uncertainty comes great opportunity. If you are Anthony or you are one of these other players and you want to make a name for yourself immediately, the opportunity is there. The opportunity for a playing time is there. As we always talk about, when it comes to college football players, there is not a more valuable commodity than playing time. It's how you accomplish all of your goals. You don't get paid. So how do you end up getting paid for playing football? You end up making the league. And the only way to do that is if you're on the field on Saturday, or if you're just a complete freak like James Wright and you go run like a 4.3 40 and jump 11 feet on your broad jump. But that's not going to happen to everybody. And so if I'm a defensive end, if I'm like a Corey Foreman, for instance, I'm looking at LSU right now. I'm saying, dude, my path to the field is wide open. And the path to the field this year is wide open for whoever wants to step up. Is it TK McClendon, former tight end? Is it Andre Anthony? What do Ojulari and Webb do? These are questions that will hopefully start to be answered this Friday when LSU gets back to a little on-the-field work, little walk-through work. Football coming back. Very excited. So I hope you had a great day, great Wednesday here, hump day. We are officially getting through halfway through the week. Coming up tomorrow, we have Munchies with Chef Michael Johnson. Do a little full stream ahead in the third hour. Update you on this Pelican scrimmage. Sure, some other stuff will break overnight that we'll get to. Listen to Hanging with Hester and Handy, noon to 3, AFR 3 to 6, and then Game Time with Jimmy Ott 6 to 8, all on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. Subscribe to Off the Bench as well. Thank you all so much for hanging out today. Have a great day. And remember, don't be a Dick Vitale. We'll see you tomorrow.
OTB, OT.
If I built a van, it would do more than